Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello, this is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Show number 534.
Yeah, you heard the robot. It's show number 534 of A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here. The butler is here. And the king of sharts himself on news, Mr. Seth Petruzzelli.
Hi. One of our listeners.
Playing with the king of sharts. No one really is smart.
I got some white underwear that I've been wearing since yesterday. I haven't taken off.
Oh,
So.
okay.
Wait, isn't that's a news story?
Did you work out every day?
Yeah, but last night when I got home after I working out, when I lay in, when I sleep at night, some drizzle comes out of the front. So I was trying to
Drizzle. That's rain.
Oh, yeah, he
terms.
pee-pees his pants all the time.
Yes.
I'm an old man now. It's drizzles.
It's a roid.
Yeah. No, it's not Roy Drizzles.
I think it
Actually, I think my dad worked
And
with a man
actually-
named Roy Drizzles. I think it was one of his salesman friends. Welcome to the show, everybody. Right up front, let's get the business out of the way, buddy.
Yeah, we got the straw hats are back on the site. We ordered a lot, so they're still available right now. And it's our beach hat, our pool hat. If you've seen them online, it's the cabana print underneath.
Yes.
And the Florida symbol on top. So those are there. We're about to have brand new BDM dry fit shirts we got in. Just gave Seth one. Those will be available Monday, most likely.
Yep.
Check this out.
We got a BDM
Oh, yeah.
school.
Thank you, Seth.
School supply drive going on at Johnny's Other Side this Sunday at 11 a.m. So if you want to help out, it's cool that this is going on, and we appreciate.
I wish
Yeah, it's
we-
organized by BDMs, and it's for BDMs.
Yeah, it's
parents.
for BDMs and parents, and teachers have a rough go. Like sometimes, a lot of the times, they have to buy their own supplies, and it can be kind of tough. So thanks to all of you guys for organizing that. I know we gave a donation. I think if you'd like to give a donation, you may do so.
Yeah.
If maybe you don't have the time to either
there,
volunteer, be there, or bring some supplies by.
It's on the events tab, I believe, on the app and as well as in the BDM group. So
Boom.
you can find it.
There you
And
go.
me and Daniel will be at Tuffy's next Saturday, August 24th, for a little party. I know the CBE BDM group is going to be there, BYOCB,
Yes.
and those guys are going to be out there. So it's going to come out, hang out, have some drinks.
It's gonna be a damn good time.
So right before the show started, Seth told us that
He comes running in here. Well, first he knocked my hat off and bullied me.
Yeah.
In front of everybody.
I enjoyed that.
In front of everybody.
I haven't done that to you ever.
No, and that's okay.
I
'cause
just have to
it-
establish my dominance with you somewhat.
that doesn't bother me, right? Because I was bullied so much as a young boy that when people do stuff like that to me, it's almost like I almost feel more. It's almost like a
love.
Nostalgia.
Stockholm syndrome
Yeah,
type
yeah.
deal. Like I like you more now that you bullied me
Okay.
Oh,
because
God.
I just want friends.
Dude, okay,
Like
Seth,
someone's run up and kick you right in the balls.
I
Oh,
got
not one of your kicks. I'll take one of maybe Butler's or Tom's.
Speaking of-
Tom's stiff, he can't even kick. I'll take a
stiff.
Tom kick. Tom kick only.
Speaking of bullying, Tommy's first day of kindergarten was Monday.
He got bullied?
Well, there was a situation. Okay,
Oh,
so his
God.
first day was fine, and we were all nervous about it, with him being nervous and whatever, because Tommy's very timid and nervous. Just
Well, he's a sensitive
personality,
cat, yeah.
sensitive. So I really worry about him, like out in the world. I know worrying about him only makes it worse because then I caught, anyway. So he's fine the first day. Second day wasn't fine. Didn't want to go. We asked him, and he's like, Because when you're in kindergarten, you're around other fifth graders, so you're around bigger kids.
Big
he's
kids,
not
yeah.
used to that. So he said he was on the playground, and he told me and I don't know how serious this is, or because he'll take anything super seriously, like a Daniel, like he'll take any small slight or whatever, he'll take it as
you got to ramp it up.
Try to kill my family.
Yeah. Like when somebody puts their hand on my car, and I'm like, you obviously hate me, and now I have to kill you.
So he told me that a bigger girl went up to him in the playground and told him that nobody wants to play with you. And then
that could be true.
Bigger
I
girl,
mean,
yeah.
Bigger girl, older girl.
I thought it's a child, Seth. Jesus Christ. So anyway,
Don't let it get back at the.
and then
Nobody wants to play with you.
and then he's like, so I just walked around in circles by myself or whatever.
Oh my God! Well, that's the logical thing to do, since nobody wants to play with me, and even the fat girls are yelling at me. I'm just gonna walk in circles.
Dirt in their eyes.
And this is so hypocritical of me to say, because I've always said it's good, a sprinkling of bullying to everybody is good. It'll make you a tougher person. It'll make you better. But when it's my own son, I immediately got enraged, and I was like, I'm gonna go find that girl's dad and fucking kick his ass. Yeah. And then so I'm in Best Buy, the guy's like, hey, you want to try this? I'm like, no, your daughter did this to you. Like that. It made me.
Your daughter did this to you.
Your daughter.
And I'm
That's
the crazy
insane.
one. I'm the crazy one.
You have to have the daughter watch you do it.
Oh my God, traumatic.
You did this to your father.
What? She didn't even do anything. He just walked in circles.
yeah.
You told my son something that in my mind, anyway. So I now am having a hard time, and I know it's gonna come, and it's fine, whatever. But it's gonna be a thing that my son's gonna have to deal with, and I know it's gonna make him better. But it makes me enraged. Anyway, so
I need to talk to him.
I
was bullied bad, and
you gotta give him a dose of Seth.
I'd be like, hey, this is the guy I want you to turn out to be.
Well, let's not go that far.
You'll be
shitting
all over everything.
You'll shit your shoes.
He shits on everything. He's all
If
over
that's
yourself.
the only side effect, that's not bad.
for
37
Christmas,
MRIs.
Tommy, you're like, what do you want for Christmas? He's like, an MRI. You're like, all right. Unconventional. It's a weird request. Tell the elf on the shelf you want an MRI.
I'll take him for the MRI myself.
Yeah, it's fine.
I have to
Maybe
get him in.
he's so small, you both could fit in there.
Head to head.
Yeah. Just scan them both.
By the
2
way,
for 1.
Max, total opposite. He punched me right in the carotid artery and the pool, and it stunned me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh!
Your heart stopped for a second.
I was like, God damn! It fucking stunned me. And I was like, I'm so close to being beaten up by Max. Anyway, so he, Seth, you told us right before the show started, you're like, by the way, this podcast ruined a date for me. And we're like, wait.
Oh, easy on that. Don't be, that's good material.
So first I was surprised that, 20-year-olds still listen to podcasts.
Well,
I feel like
they didn't until I told them about it. That's why I said it was my mistake.
Oh, okay. So what happened here? By the way, where do you take
podcast? Is that like a record?
where do you take girls on dates, because they can't drink yet? So
Yes, they can. This one was.
They have teen nights still.
This one was 23, so it's fine.
Oh,
Okay. Where do you guys go?
Well, I don't. I go to the same place for each one, so I don't.
Like
I go,
P.F. Chang's?
No, I go I have 2 or 3 that I rotate between them.
All right. What do you got? Applebee's?
I go to either like Cress or or Shari sushi.
Oh, Shari's. That's a good. That's
Cress
a good
is really
spot.
nice,
Yeah,
too.
The
well,
barn.
yeah.
You got to impress them by your wealth.
Yeah.
My basement. No, no. Usually just those 2.
cut that out.
So you're on a date. And
I'm not on a date.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to go on a date. And I said, I'm busy because I have to write the news for this thing I'm doing on Friday. She said, news for what? And I told her I'm on a podcast.
You got to slip it.
I'm on this big deal.
Because you
kind of a big deal.
You slip in the Kimbo thing. They're like, who?
Yeah.
They don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. The 30-year-olds know now.
He beat up this old black guy.
So I told her about the podcast, and I'm like, look, and she's like, oh, well, what is it? I want to listen. I'm like, oh, shit, because this is what ruined it for the Russian girl.
Oh, yeah.
She listened, and it backfired.
What,
Yeah.
really?
Stop bragging about it.
Wait a minute.
Well, I know.
He's got to brag about something.
Yeah, I'm
Wait a
done.
minute. I didn't know we ruined
5
the
years
Russian
ago.
Flex your abs.
We didn't ruin the.
That's what got him in the first place. Is that
Just
Instagram ads?
keep your
and
mouth shut and
Yeah.
keep flexing.
Wait, how? Fuck off. Well said.
Yeah.
Well
Samantha's
said.
right.
Yeah, you know, you just listen to her. Sometimes it takes a woman's touch, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, I didn't know we ruined the Russian.
oh, we didn't. I covered up. I made it better. I was like, oh no, it's just I'm just.
They're talking about you eating my butt.
She's like, just from now on, I'd like to keep that stuff private. I'm like,
I've never been more embarrassed.
I don't want to know what you do. Just look pretty.
So you mentioned to the 23-year-old that you're going on a date with about the podcast.
Yeah,
and
she's
then,
like, where's it? Where can I listen? So I told her, and she's like, oh,
how did you even know, by the way? Because you don't know anything about the show.
Actually, I didn't, but she searched and found it. So I was like, okay, whatever. Just watch it.
He's like, I think it's on the black square.
Go to that YouTube, maybe press it in the. I sent her to my old podcast first. No.
No, my God.
I didn't.
And nobody listens to that.
Yeah, man. I was on it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was asked to be on it, and I just
good.
kept putting it off. Good thing it fell apart.
So anyway, she's like, well, which one should I listen to? There's so many. I'm like, I don't know which one, the names of them anymore. Which one's the bottom?
What, she listened to Shark Week?
No, she listened to someone that said had butt in the
In the title?
Yeah, it said butt something. And,
Was it Seth eats butts?
But no, that's
That's a hashtag we use for a contest we're
Was it
doing.
Seth's a racist butt eater?
And that's what.
that was one. That was 2 shows.
Seth, the racist butt eater, lived by the sea.
He frolicked with the
the
20-year-old.
Yeah. So anyway, she listened to
In a restaurant called Applebee's.
and and immediately after she's like,
have to do
okay, I
that.
fast forward to where you're at. I'm listening. And then for like 3 hours, I didn't hear anything back. And I go, did you?
He was deep diving.
Did you not like what you heard or something? She's like,
No,
well,
never do that. You're planting a seed, motherfucker.
And they're
I
also
know.
sensitive. They're 23-year-old
yeah, you
millennials.
can't say that.
Yeah, they hear all of your shit. They hear our shit. They're like, what are these racist old men?
it might have been the shard. I didn't even think about it. It might have been the sharding stuff. That's the gross.
Oh,
That's gross.
yeah.
Everything else would be okay.
Do you think it's gross? You're talking about shit all over.
You put a fucking picture of you shitting your shoes online.
I forgot, but I didn't know that if that was it. I forgot about that.
Well, I
I
sent
forget
it to
every
her.
time I'm on here. 2 days later, I don't know what the fuck I said. So it doesn't.
Somebody in the Twitch chat room is twitch.tv/TomADanLive. Juan is guessing that she heard you talking about shitting in a Gatorade bottle. I'm gonna, you know what,
See, I forgot
Juan?
about that.
I think Juan may have won. I think that's the one. That's the one that rattled Samantha.
What about
Yeah, it's bad.
when you
Yeah.
work construction and every morning you'd shit the
I
entire
shit
porta
the entire
potty out?
porta potties. That was the time of my life. I would, if I could go,
Time of my life.
if I could go back to doing that on a daily basis again, I want to get a construction job. Just
The time of my life, and it's shitting in a porta potty.
that'd be a good. That's your intro.
That's the time of your life.
Oh,
Is
dude,
working
I've-
construction and making.
I just picture you holding up a porta potty and spinning in circles.
making old white real men piss off.
Yeah.
For some reason, it gets me off seeing other people so mad. I'm such an asshole, but I'm sorry.
By the way, all
being
this is not
truthful.
helping your future 20
No, whatever.
Yeah,
You know what? They can suck it.
Well,
They won't suck it.
No, yeah. Well, they tried.
It hasn't stopped.
You're gonna have to migrate up to like 35.
No,
and now
no,
you're
no, you
granny
can't do
age.
that.
Yeah.
I haven't
Too many
broke-
wrinkles.
I haven't broke the 30 barrier yet. I'm not.
Not even into the 30s?
so
not
did
even
she-
30 on the nut?
Not once.
Wow.
Did she not
entire
even?
life.
They know how to fuck
Dude, the
better.
beautiful 30-year-old.
They know how to fuck
30-year-olds are young for me. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
god.
know, me too.
Goddamn.
I think 30. You know, I look at my wife and want a 30-year-old. You know, she's 35.
So, so did she say anything?
She said, "Well, I really wasn't expecting you to be so open and forthcoming with your life and this thing." I'm like, "Oh,
I wanted
well,
you to be far more reserved and
But she said it was
from
fine.
your Instagram photos. I expected you to be a goddamn librarian.
Yeah.
Not talk to anybody.
So I was like, "Oh, well," and then she talked about she did bring up the butt stuff. She's like, "Oh," and then you're talking about butt stuff.
Eating ass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, and I just owned it. I was like, what can I say? I think it's sexy as fuck going and doing
No!
something.
Yeah.
No, I did that. And
So-
she actually
so she's-
agreed, she actually kind of agreed with that a little bit.
I do
She
like
said-
my butt eaten, but I just don't like to discuss it.
But then we were supposed to go on a date that night, and then maybe 2-3 hours later, she's like, "So bad news. My job wants me to do some extra things in the morning, and I have to prepare for it. And so maybe it's a good idea if we put this off."
Maybe she just has diarrhea.
Oh yeah, she.
So I don't know
knew-
if it was just a line or if it
Yeah,
was
she
like-
knows you're into butt stuff, and maybe down there is not so,
You know how
Little,
much I'd have to prepare.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's turn around on her.
Yeah, maybe it's a little sour down there. Maybe she's sick.
You know how much
maybe
I
she get a case of the
If-
sour
the
oils.
oils.
Yeah, the
If-
oils. Gotta
if-
kiss the oils.
If I knew before I left the house, someone was gonna eat my butthole,
Yeah.
I'd have done a lot of preparation.
Yeah, I do that. No, I do that now with my cycling
Literally.
shorts because everybody like fucked with me on here for wearing underwear under my cycle shorts. They're like, no, you're supposed to free ball. You can't do that. And I was like, well, the extra barrier protects my cycle shorts from my butt because everybody should be fucking protected from my butt because my butt's disgusting. So instead, now I've been riding, commando. But before I put my cycle shorts on, I have to go in the bathroom. I have to take one preparation H wipe and wipe it real good, and then I let that dry a little bit, and then I do one more. I do 2 wipes on it.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah, I got a lot of prep.
Now, so is this
cutting
done?
vegetables
How
at
do-
Olive
Oh no,
Garden.
she's a sweet. I don't think so, but we'll see. I haven't heard from her since.
Oh, she's listening to it now.
Yeah,
She knows
that's right.
it.
Well, she
Can we
knows-
call her right now?
No, not okay.
He's on. He's talking about butts again.
I haven't reached that
This time
point.
it's you.
Yeah.
I haven't reached that point of.
He's on the show now. He's talking about your butt. Go.
No, I haven't reached that point of not giving a fuck about my life to just
So where do
This show will ruin your life.
Oh yeah. That's what
I
we're
think that's
trying.
copywritten by Swervy Jones, isn't it?
Could be.
from
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
think it
getting
is.
paid, it's worth it.
You know what? You know what's funny?
Okay.
It's up. That was an obvious
I
joke.
always see Tom pay you like days,
Days
later.
because I have to remind them.
Yeah, I forget every day.
It's days later.
And I'm surprised he even remembers. Like,
Me?
yeah,
It's money. I remember money.
such a
God
small
damn it.
mess.
Well,
What does it
whatever.
matter? You're like
That's my-
driving a goddamn Hellcat.
That's my going out. That's my date money.
That's your buddy money.
That's my date money.
well, obviously you're saving up now.
That's for the drinks.
So, where do you meet these girls? Do they come to you through your Instagram?
This one was a friend of a friend.
Okay,
Not Instagram. No.
So-
Some of them are some of them are Instagram. It's, Hinge now,
What's Hinge?
new dating app.
What?
One of the girls that I
hinged.
dated from Bumble told me about Hinge, and I got her.
So what's the difference between Hinge and Bumble?
Okay, so Hinge, you actually
You Bumble, I Hinge.
Hinge, you have to you like the photos of the people that you see, so you don't like swipe on the person yes or no. You actually either like one of their pictures and you comment on one of their pictures, or something they said in their profile. Like if they said, "Oh, I enjoy long walks on the beach," this and that, you comment on it and say, "Oh, I also enjoy that," blah blah blah, and you send it to them. So that's how you show your interest. You actually like comment on their pictures or
Well, that's
part
called
of the profile.
Instagram.
kind of like I guess so.
But I guess it's a place where people are looking to date,
date.
rather than
Just
when you're on
like
Instagram,
they're
you're
looking to
creeping
fuck.
out.
Yeah, they're
You're
looking to
yeah.
fuck, yeah.
Everybody's looking to fuck, I guess.
Yeah.
So then once they comment, then you go back and forth, and then you exchange numbers, blah blah. Yeah. I guess it's
Well,
real
then
life.
usually it's the hey, what's your Insta? What's your Insta? Then I got make sure they look like they do on their pictures from their Insta.
Seth, have
A
you?
lot of times they hide their lower half. And you gotta get the full picture to see what.
Do you request that?
Yeah, damn right. Icebergs, man.
So how do you?
Icebergs.
I've never heard that.
You never heard of iceberg?
No.
It's so nice and tiny and beautiful up top, then it just goes.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot under the water.
Yeah, it's fucking
Sink,
giant,
Let's sink the Titanic.
Yeah,
giant
it did.
triangle.
Wow.
So,
Wowie wooey.
I
I don't even know.
I
don't
like
even,
that.
I enjoy it
I
too,
like
but
it.
I
Icebergs,
I never
body
thought
type.
about it.
Anyway, so have you noticed that like younger girls in their 20s have a harder time like communicating in person? Like, do you notice that your text and your like social media communication is
No.
more lively or more interesting than talking in person? Because I've heard, and I don't know if this is bullshit or not, but people have told me that what texting and social media has
Well, it's
done
degrading
to
your
younger
actual face-to-face like
communication
conversations.
skills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think I've talked to maybe one person on the phone, like hearing their voice before I went on a date. Most of them have just always been text back and forth.
Really
That's weird. Yeah.
Never talked once.
So you
That's a
meet
little
them
weird.
for the
I
first.
meet
You
them
talk to
I'll
them.
talk to them for the first time.
You
on the
hear
date.
their voice for the first time.
and probably after like 4 or 5 days of texting back.
So you
and forth.
text, you show up at the Applebee's, and she's
And
like,
then you-
"Hey,
then
are
you
you
hear-
Seth?"
I don't know what's
And
after.
you're like,
that.
How many times have you been catfished?
Maybe just like once or twice. Like and that wasn't for
Ooh.
voice. It was just like look wise. Like they had like a lot of filters on that I didn't. Usually I can catch that pretty good. Like, oh, that's a filter. That's a filter.
When they're a cartoon face throwing up a rainbow,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
tell.
I don't know.
And then I get them
amazing.
asking, why don't you want to talk to me? And then I don't want to say, like, I feel bad saying, oh, well, you look like fucking Hatchet Face from.
Oh my
Crybaby.
God!
I don't
Damn,
wanna say
man.
that.
I thought the whole move was just to like pretend like you never saw them.
Yeah,
They saw
that's
you.
done.
see you.
Ghosting happens. Quite a
Well,
lot.
no, if you show up, they know what he looks like.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
what are
yeah.
you going to be like? You're just looking
Hi, right
around.
here, right
And then she's like, hello. And you're like, I'm blind. You know?
I didn't tell you from my
I'm
profile.
suddenly blind. Hello? Is there someone there?
like, how do you get out of
No,
that?
but we get it. There's a lot on tech. Like, it's
You
like
ever had to
texting-
power through a
texting's
date?
putting in
You ever had to power through it because you just like,
a while because I'm pretty picky when it even to do
You
that. I guess.
know.
Yeah.
So how do you tell them that you're not interested? Like someone told me this.
yeah.
This is awkward as shit. Dating itself is awkward as hell to me.
I ghost. I'm a dick. I ghost a lot, and I hate doing that. But I don't want to say. What do I say?
well, how do you ghost them?
Just literally ignore everything they send.
that's
me.
what Tom
Like,
does
just
right now.
ghost
He does that to me. I'll text him, I'm
just
like, I think the
nothing back.
studio security system alarm's going off.
So
Nothing.
someone went on. Someone told me a friend of mine. They went on a date and then they like met a guy. It was a woman went on a date with a guy and then like halfway through the dinner, the guy's like, I could tell this is not going to work out.
Yeah.
Let's split the tab. And
I had a
and I was
girl-
like, God damn, that's
No,
awkward.
I had a
Yeah,
girl do
that's-
that to me.
I've never done
I
that.
went on a date and had a girl like literally say, this just isn't. I don't think this is gonna work. But like we can still be friends and we can still have a nice dinner. And I'm like, nope.
Oh yeah,
Cut to
because-
the chase. Save some time.
yeah, you're right.
I've
I like
never
to
done-
avoid
I've
it.
never done
I was like, I'm not gonna waste
So
time
then
eating a
spend
dinner
a
to not
longer,
Oh,
more awkward
yeah,
time
yeah,
at a
yeah,
dinner.
it's not awkward.
No, but that's what Tom
I'm like,
would do.
I love
That's
you.
what
We'll
Tom.
get married. I'll pay for the bill.
That's what he does with the telemarketers. They get him and they're like, let me tell you about this product. He's like, yeah, because you can't.
I know. I just can't cut to the chase.
I don't do it in person. I'm super. Even if I know from meeting him for like the first 5 minutes, it's not going to go anywhere. I'll still have a good time and buy them dinner and have a good time. I like that's
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
the
yeah.
company. Why not?
Yeah.
It's fun.
You know what?
Not
This
that much
dinner's
of a
on
dick.
me, Iceberg. Just let's go easy on the ordering,
I bet you don't
Wait,
like.
you're not getting that potato.
You're not getting two entrees and cut
You're
the
getting
carbs.
2 dry broccolis. on the
She
side.
doesn't want any croutons in her salad. Trust me.
I do that sometimes.
How long?
Do you order for your girls?
When I make sure it's okay first, and then I usually order for them. Well, they pick what they
Wait,
want.
you-
They pick what they want, and
Get a
then
salad, bitch.
and then I order for them. Yeah, I think that's gentlemanly to do that.
Okay, so they tell
That's
you
old
what they
school.
want, and
Yeah,
you
That's
order
class.
and
both.
then I
Okay.
always
I've never done that.
Really?
I've
do
never
In
that a
done
lot.
fact, I
either.
do
that a
this
lot.
move. I don't. The waiter traditionally is supposed to go to the women first, get their order, and then get the bid,
Yeah.
and then my wife will open her video. And she'll be like, "I think," and I'll be like, "I want this." I jump right in there. I'm
Usually-
like, "I want this to drink, and this is what I want to eat," and now she can go because I already have my mind made up because I win.
Usually the way to do that to make sure that it's okay with the female if you order for them first, I've learned this, is when the waiter comes, he usually asks the woman what they want first, and then I go, oh, you want this, correct? And they look at me and they say, yeah, this is what I want. And then I look to the waiter and I say, she'll have
The
this,
lady
this,
who
and this.
cannot speak, and I will not allow her to.
That's not what I could give it. If she wants to speak, she can speak. I just think it was
Seth.
nice to do it.
You want this, don't you? That scared her. You're intimidating
You want the
giant.
grill- No, I don't do that. They tell me what they want and I order
So-
for them. I'm being sweet.
Tell me what you
Jesus,
want, so
like-
I may speak for you.
I heard
Also,
nowadays.
pull the seat out for them, open the doors every single
I
time.
open the door. I don't pull the seat out.
I do.
I think that's a little weird. I usually run, and then if my wife sits down, I'm like, I want to sit there. Spoiled, fucking rotten.
So how long? Like I heard nowadays
It
that
goes like that old school stuff.
the younger, generation, the 20-year-olds, they have sex a lot faster. Like it's a lot more open. It's like how many days? Is there even like?
that didn't sound old and creepy.
I have no
I've
idea.
heard these days that the gals like to have sex a lot earlier, see?
So how many? Because it used to be.
Where's his pedophile glasses?
I think I took him home.
It-
I
like-
wore him while I was pumping my wife last night.
By the
No,
way-
you didn't.
I did.
That would creep me out.
Well, she can't see his doggy style. She can't even see.
Oh, okay.
2 to 3 dates max.
Okay,
Max.
All right. Well, that's
Usually it's-
longer than I thought.
Well, yeah. There's a bunch that were first nights.
First night butt eating. Oh wow!
Oh, first night butt.
That's
That's
an
a great
bold
yacht rock.
move.
Oh, not Bud, but I don't do that until
That's a second date.
Second date. No, maybe the third time I'll start with a finger and just to make sure.
Let's start with a finger. Do you go in or you just press?
No, press and you go
just
around.
press,
You start to see if it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you?
And then usually have a text conversation about it the next day.
Oh my God!
Hey,
it was weird when you were swirling my bad house. I've never been swirled before.
What is it just like nowadays with dating? Do you mix it up like first, second, third date? What do you is it all dinner? Like do you do other things?
What do you mean? Like, what do we do on the dates?
No, yeah, but is it always just dinner? Yeah, do you go do anything else?
No, usually always is like dinner the first night, and then the second night's usually I cook dinner and Netflix.
Oh,
and
that's
chill.
right. He tries to get him over to his lair.
Get him over to the compound.
Yeah, okay.
Show him the digs and
Yeah.
this is my pool. This is my.
What is your
deck,
decor
this is-
like?
It's nice. His pool is badass.
It's a lot of Chinese type.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It kind of looks like
Their
Chinese
pool.
at all.
There's
It kinda
like
looks
goddamn
like
Mount
That's
Everest.
the only thing that's weird in the back because I have a great wave of Kanagawa in the
That's
back.
a beautiful painting.
that's the only
Legendary
thing.
painting.
I have it. Yeah.
I was wondering if you have like never-ending story props or.
Well, no, it kind of looks like a
It's
flea
very-
market Army Navy store in there. A lot of swords.
It's modern farmhouse. Is how
Did
I-
you see that article?
Honestly, everyone that's coming to my
Farmhouse.
house is like, "Did you decorate this yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I
Yes.
learned a lot from doing real estate and staging houses."
that
So it's actually
wooden
really
that
nice.
wooden cat coat rack over there is. I bought that.
If you came over to my house, you'd be impressed. Then, just because you're a woman, you'd be like,
Yeah,
"Wow,
yeah,
this is nice."
it's nice.
Okay.
Walk into my closet that you could actually have a room in, and you'll fall in love.
Sounds like you
All
decorated a trap.
Sounds
like
let's see. I'll put
Walk into my closet and the cage falls down.
put a little bit of cheese right here. To
Oh, I like this modern farm.
You know, back to the farmhouse.
Oh, look, there's some blush wine sitting on the floor. Right
I
over there.
hope you want your butthole swirled because you're the farmhouse, motherfucker.
I do have a basement. I really do have a basement.
Stop it. Stop saying that.
Why do you have a basement in Florida?
I don't know. Ask the guys in 1920. who
Isn't
built
that
this.
where your dad? You had a leak and you had your poor dad down there bailing water out for 9 years.
We
that
were
poor
all
man?
bailing water out down there.
Yeah.
We were jackhammering the floor.
Oh, I bet you were.
Putting a sub pump in, pumping the water out.
Is everything okay now?
Fuck it. I haven't checked it the past week since we've had these rains every single day, so it might be.
You haven't even looked down there in your basement.
Yeah. Oh, his dad's still down there. Fucking just gonna be a skeleton holding a pump.
Holding a pump.
So hungry. So
Please help me. My son's up there swirling buttholes and I'm down here dying.
Oh, I feel bad. My dad actually fell last weekend and hit his head and
oh my God.
I had him moving. No, I didn't.
Damn it,
I didn't have him moving. He was
Christ.
moving his girlfriend's stuff up north and fell. He's okay now.
he
He
all
was in
right?
the hospital for a day. Yeah, but he's okay.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's not good.
So, well, speaking of hurting yourself, and Daniel wanted to talk about walk-in clinics, and I know Seth has
Hell
probably
on
been in
earth.
a lot of walk-in clinics.
yeah,
so,
this-
Hell on earth.
So Daniel was sick, and on like a Monday, was it?
Yeah,
so
it's
you,
this Monday.
I got sick over the weekend and then Monday it was just really bad. I'm on the mend today, but
what
it's
kind
like
of sick? Like,
just a
what?
cold. Yeah, it was just a cold. But they put me on antibiotics and then they, but that was early on, so I
So-
should be good now.
So the walk-in clinic is an interesting place. I've been there before, and the
Nationality.
the clients that go into the walk-in clinic, it could be.
It's like a circus.
When I was there, I can describe it. We had new mom. We had Spanish lady doesn't understand English and just had been sitting there for. I sat there for like a couple hours because it was bad, but I needed it. I just wanted to go to the doctor, and I'd already put an hour in, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to continue sitting." Spanish lady didn't understand English. Had been dismissed from the doctor, didn't understand, and just took her paperwork and went and sat over there because she thought that the doctor was going to talk to her again, and just sat there for hours until the lady was like, ma'am, we dismissed you like 2 hours ago. Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
And she walks, and then she walks out. Angry black guy, rich white guy that had fallen and busted his hip, and talking on his phone loudly and rudely the entire time. Crackhead that kept going in and out of the doors smoking cigarettes. Every time he'd go outside to smoke a cigarette, they'd call his name. He'd come back in and say, "Did you call my name?" They'd like, "Yeah," and they're like, "We put you back in rotation. You shouldn't be smoking." He'd go back out to smoke. They call his name again. And then he'd come back in fucking mad as fuck because they're not calling him. I'm trying to think who else was there. Real man, punk rock Spanish guy. Okay, like construction worker, Spanish guy, but covered in tattoos that were like different, like punk rock bands and stuff like that. It's kind of weird. And then me.
Yeah. And you go to the...
What would somebody say about you if they were saying this from the outside?
I don't know. Small, kept to himself. Was playing some game on his phone.
Because you go to a walk-in clinic for
very quiet.
A couple
People
different
watching.
reasons. Like it's like an emergency that you don't want to go to the hospital for, and your regular general doctor or physician.
Well, I called my
It's
doctor,
booked.
and he was booked up.
Booked.
Yeah,
that's what I did. I
happened.
call them. They're booked all the time.
I called my doctor to see if they could like squeeze me in. They said no, so I was like, "Fuck it, I gotta go to a walk-in clinic."
Or you have no insurance. There's usually a variety of reasons, but it's never good.
When I
and
used to
you're
go to the
all
walk-in
together.
clinic, when I worked for iHeart or Clear Channel at the time, I never worked for iHeart. But when I used to go, it was like $100. But now when I went, because my wife's insurance is so much better than what you and I used to have, I went there. They're like, that'll be $10. I'm like, all right, fuck. I was like, that'll work.
Yeah.
You know, that'll work. So I'll sit for a couple hours if you can get me in for $10. But man, I don't know. How does that work? Why shouldn't it be standardized for everybody, same price?
Obama. I don't know what I was screaming.
I mean, I just don't understand how that. That's another show.
yeah. Do you want to do some voicemails? Do you want to take a break?
Yeah,
we got
can,
some.
we can do voicemails.
We got a couple of things we want to talk about.
Do you want to do lost voicemails or do you want to do mail on mail? I mean, it's easy, man. We got a lot of stuff to get to today.
Let's play some voicemails. Then we'll take a break. I know we got Seth. You got some news prepared, Seth?
Yep.
All right.
He does indeed.
Sometimes when people leave voicemails, they don't always go to Dan via the Mediocre app. Sometimes they get stuck in limbo, only to be rescued and converted later. They won't be timely. They won't make sense. They might be years old, and the person who left them could quite possibly be dead. This is Lost Voicemails from Beyond.
Is it brought to you by anybody, buddy, or we
Yeah.
just cranking into it?
We'll do KDK Accountancy Corporation. Bernie is our accountant. He's also our financial advisor. So if you need either of those, go talk to Bernie. He knows us, so just tell him, hey, I'm a Tom and Dan listener on BDM, and I need some good, trustworthy accounting if you have a small business.
And he's
or
got
anything.
big hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huge O's.
Yeah. So it's orlandocpa.net.
All right. You know what that means, Seth, when you got big hands.
Hey
Big
guys,
feet.
this is a message for a Gentleman's Guide to Manliness.
Well, we'll skip that one then. Sorry, these, honestly, when I say I don't know what these
Yeah,
are,
all random. Yeah.
I definitely don't know what
Oh
these
God, I
are.
hope one of my voicemails aren't on there.
You never know.
Happy Sunday, T&D Media crew. Man, I was listening to the Friday Free Show, and the Dan Cummings segment was great. I think I'm going to be a new fan of him. I'm going to start checking out that podcast. Anyhow, though, I was sitting here listening to Friday show, and a guy made a comment about assuming something with a guy pumping gas, and then was, never going to do that again because the guy didn't need help or whatever. I one time had a situation where I was going to a bank frequently, cashing my check every week, Citizens Bank of Oviedo, and this girl had worked there.
Shout
I was
out.
familiar with her, hadn't seen her in a while. Go into the bank one day and noticed she had a belly on her, and I proceeded to ask her when her due date was.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
And assuming she was pregnant, and damn it, that was the wrong thing to do.
No shit.
Turns out she was not pregnant and horribly embarrassed, as was I. I couldn't look her in the eye after that and never went back into that bank.
Hey, that's the
ever
Tom.
again, due to the sheer embarrassment and awkwardness of asking that girl when she was pregnant and she had no baby in her belly.
I thought everyone
Yeah.
knew not to do that.
Not Concrete Mike.
Not this guy
Who's
who's
a real
doing
man.
the
I
cashier's
don't know if
check.
that's him or not, but
It sounds a little bit like him.
So here's what's weird to me. Like if I was female and I had a belly, which I do now, so I'd assume if I was female I would have one too. If someone was like, "Oh, when'd you do that?" I'd be like, 7 months, or like, "Well,
Oh my God.
I wouldn't have the
because you
awkward.
don't like the
deny it.
awkwardness.
Yeah.
You know what I would do? I'd be like, "Fuck you, motherfucker." I'd be like, I go in on him.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
like-
but that's just like it intensifies it. What's wrong with just saying, "Oh,
no, but I
I
shouldn't
mean,
have to do
it's
that.
her fault for making us mistake that pregnant in the first place. I mean, don't wear a shirt that's so. I'm joking.
We know.
No, come on, you're softening up, Seth.
You are. You're getting soft. No, but the guy obviously.
Just say you're pregnant.
I'm with Samantha. Everybody knows that you don't say that. You know, like
not everybody.
We would never say that.
Apparently not everybody.
You would never
yeah.
say that to a guy, right? Like you would never like.
Well,
What's the equivalent for a man? Is there an equivalent for
Yeah,
a
you
man?
got some saggy bitch tits on you.
What? I'm gonna walk up to a guy going, "Hey, you got some saggy bitch tits."
Well,
Like, there is no
equivalent.
There's
because-
no equivalent. Oh, hair? You think hair, EJ?
If they have cancer or not? Did you shave your head?
Nobody goes up to
No
bald
one-
guys and go
nobody
like, "How's
asks
your
that.
cancer
Fuck
going?" You know, like,
Nobody
nobody
asks
does
that.
that.
Yeah.
That's a fucking lie. That
No
does
one's done
not
that to you.
happen.
How's the
I would
cancer
say I
going?
have cancer
Yeah.
though. If somebody said that to me, I'd be embarrassed. But I have cancer.
Well, you're very fit for cancer.
I have
Cancer's
muscle
not
cancer.
getting the best of you, sir.
But if someone does like assume and like congratulate you for like, oh, congratulations, if I was a woman, I would just be like, oh, thank you, and move on. I wouldn't be like, I'm
yeah,
not
because
pregnant.
you hate awkward.
But why don't most people do? What's in it for them to be like, I'm not pregnant?
Well, you're
and
setting
then
that person straight.
What is
But
it?
it's a
What's in it for
stranger.
them telling you the truth? I'm not pregnant. I'm gonna
yeah.
lie and say I'm pregnant.
Because-
That's retarded. I
Get
don't
him,
understand
Sam.
what that means.
Here's the thing, because it's a strange. This is the person.
Then every time, because he's a customer, right? So every month every week when he comes in to cash his check, you're
Well,
gonna continue to be like, oh well, my baby's a peanut
That's
today.
what I would do.
You're getting bigger. You're getting bigger.
Maybe that's the motivation she needed to be like healthier in life, and maybe she lives 20 years more because she loses weight and is healthier for her family.
And no, you take it to the point
No.
where you keep getting fatter.
You're like, I have to keep this up. to
I just
avoid
found
the
out I had
awkwardness.
twins. I'm having
Then,
twins.
then you have to do some dramatic
Yeah.
surgery to take out all the
And
fat.
steal a baby. That's gonna be hard.
Then you have to stage
2 months,
photos.
There's
Like,
a baby sitting there during the
yeah,
toe.
then you got to get married to your boyfriend that you don't even really like that much.
yeah.
Your whole life has to spiral out of control because you want to avoid one guy's fucked up comment.
Every time Concrete Mike, you showing pictures of your fake baby. It's all this facade.
Let's go to the Twitch chat room. Soul Rack says Tom's mentality on this is dumb as fuck. Back to you, Tom.
Well, hold on. Now I didn't know it was an employee at the. I thought it was a random customer at the bank. Because
He said at the end that he has never gone back to that bank.
yeah, but it could. I would when a thing's bad. Like when I try
There,
to avoid
the, Twitch chat, the Twitch chat room says that your fear of awkwardness knows no bounds.
I'm just saying. Okay,
It is that your greatest thing? Like
Hold
mine
on.
is anxiety or like fear flying and stuff. You know, like my anxiety is like it's like part of the character. You know, like
yeah.
and yeah, I do exaggerate it for the sake of the show because it's funny. But I do have a real problem with that.
I
Is
don't. I
your
don't at
is your fear with awkwardness your greatest weakness?
Yeah,
would you say?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything to avoid it. And
And he's not kidding when he says that, guys.
But
Sam, he's not kidding, is he?
I know, but you are going to make it more awkward by lying.
not necessarily. What if it's a stranger? Okay, follow me with this.
Okay, sure.
I'm saying
I'll
in
hear
this
you out. I'll hear
specific
you out.
scenario,
Yeah,
you would.
in
Well,
this
let's just
scenario,
hear him
that's
out.
that's different.
Let's see. Try to convince us.
So in a scenario where you're a woman and you got a little belly for whatever reason, and you're walking around, there's a stranger and that you've never seen before, and most likely, statistically, you've done the math, you probably won't see him again. It wasn't
Correct.
It wasn't a person you frequent,
Yeah.
someone that you go to the store. You know,
It's even less than an acquaintance.
Yeah, and then you say you're in line at the 7-Eleven, and the person behind you is like, "Oh, congratulations!" Right? In that scenario,
And you look around, you're like, "What? I win the lottery?"
it makes more sense to me that to just tell the person, "Oh, thank you," or if they ask you when you're due, you just make up a date rather than cause the awkward situation, because that at that point the thing is done. When as soon as you say I'm not pregnant, now you've created this
I
thing
see what
where
you're
the person's
saying.
like, "Oh, sorry," then it's like, and you're like,
Well,
"Oh,
maybe
no."
it'll teach them a lesson and not do that shit again.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I also think that to go along with it. Now, see, this is I won't take it as far as the going in on the person and making it more awkward because that's the part
you
you
could
hate.
Just, you could just be like, Oh no, I'm not pregnant.
No, but I'll
Because
take
not to be a dick
that
about it.
person's intention was not to shame you or whatever. That
I
person's
agree.
intention was to
But
honestly
to
say
me,
congratulations.
I'm pretty simple. To me, it cost me as the woman with the belly more brain power to have to randomly improv a date
Yeah.
and then and consider baby names. You know what I mean? Like that
Some
to
people will
me.
sit and chat with you
that
about
to
your
me,
kid. Yeah.
and that to me is more voluntary than the involuntary reaction for me of being "fuck you, I am not pregnant."
But
you
why
see
do
what
you,
I'm saying?
why do you come at them with such aggression if they made an honest mistake?
Not all of them do.
You're right.
No, you
but
don't
I
have
don't agree
to.
But
with-
it is the thing
It
that
would be
Dan said,
insulting,
because you
though.
would never do that to a man.
You would
wouldn't
never
be
do
like,
that
what do
to
you
a
got a
man.
tumor? Like you wouldn't comment on anything
Because
like
guys
that.
don't have anything that would constitute us getting
Well, I
fat
mean, I
right
guess-
away
Well, just
like
because someone is bigger does not mean that they're carrying a baby
It'd
around.
be like if Samantha walked around and she was walking around in here, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in here, and one of us walked in the door, and she looked at the guy, and then go, "Did you have your penis removed?"
Well,
Because I don't see anything there. I
don't see a ball.
It's real bag. Your
Who
shorts are
the
real
hell does
baggy.
that?
But yeah, but that's
I'm trying. There's no equivalent.
Yeah,
though,
there
is
is
what
no
I'm saying.
equivalent.
Because essentially what you're saying by that is you're fat.
You're true, but that's what you're taking
then-
it as.
But he's-
and the person
but
would
it
just
is
wanted to
what-
congratulate you on
Yeah,
the
he's
baby.
coming from a good point. He's coming from a good side,
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
"Oh, I want to
Okay,
congratulate."
But
Right.
that's why you never comment, because you don't know. So
I
just
agree.
don't
I
make
agree.
comments.
You'd never say
I
anything.
agree.
Let's go back to the Twitch chat room
Okay.
just real quick. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live if you want to watch any of these shows live. Frickin' Win says, and my wife agreed, and you need to pipe down in there. Frickin' Win said, "Why do I, as a woman, need to lie to make the asker comfortable?"
That's true. I agree. You don't, and you can do whatever you want. I'm saying what I would do
'Cause you're-
just to avoid the awkward situation. And it seems better in my mind to do that than to start this other thing where the person feels like a dickhead because you are a dickhead for even asking. Now the problem is though, it's like that person is villainized for asking when his intention was to just say something polite. He probably just doesn't know anything.
And maybe the woman needs to hear it. I'm sorry. Maybe you need,
there
no.
it is.
Maybe you really need to hear it. Like
There it is.
other people are thinking it too. Maybe you need to. I don't know.
You can
It'd
definitely
be better
look. I've
yourself
seen
and
a
tone
lot
up.
of fat women, and I've seen a lot of pregnant women, and I'm really good at telling the difference.
Oh yeah, because it's a distinct belly shape for
Yeah.
pregnancy. I get
Not
that.
always.
And
There's
I-
people
a
with
lot
medical conditions that they're not pregnant, but they may look like they
Yeah,
are.
it's starving Africans.
You know, I did have a relative who was an alcoholic who had a big
Distended
distended
belly.
That's what I'm saying. If you're
like you know the
sick.
traditional smoking swamp lady drinks a lot of beer bellies. She had one of those.
So if
She's
you
dead.
if you are a bigger girl and you have a belly on you, I think you probably know that eventually this is going to happen because apparently people haven't got the memo that never asked this question. So, and I expect it's probably happened to you before. Is the right response to get angry? Or
No,
is
it's
the right
not
response to
no.
just blow it off
No,
because
don't
it's
say,
like, fuck it?
Don't say right response. It's not the right response. I'm not saying I'll
I
go
guess
with you. You
logical
know how you said
response.
this is what I do. I'm just saying what I would do. I know I would, if I were in that scenario and I were a woman, I know I would snap. I not snap, like we'll start tearing the bank apart. I would snap back
Be
out.
angry.
Yeah.
But
'Cause
the
it would
thing is,
be,
why be angry? Because they weren't. It's kind of
Because
like
it's insulting to me to hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And I want to hurt you now.
But what's weird is it's like that the conversation we had about the Happy Memorial Day and everybody getting pissed. They're like, "How dare you say
Right,
Happy
it's the
Memorial?"
intent.
It's
It's
like
the intent.
so the person saying, "Oh, congratulations," when you do. I feel like that person's not coming from any sort of
Evil place.
Yeah, evil, angry, or coming at you. Now, is it stupid to ask that to someone that you don't know for sure is pregnant? Yes, but are they asking to try to shame you or doing they were legitimately? I feel like most people were legitimately like saying, "Oh, it's just they're saying it because that's the cultural thing to
Yes.
say to another human." So I don't think getting
Well, let's
angry.
change that culture to say it until it's confirmed.
But I don't know anyone that's ever done that. Like everyone knows not to say that.
No,
Most of
dude,
the time it's
people do.
kids, right? Most of the time it's kids.
I don't think so.
Like, you got a big fat belly.
I think people do it
Oh
all
my
the
God! Oh,
time.
Tommy! Oh shit!
my-
Okay,
Whoa,
this happened.
should we take a break or like?
Yeah, well, I'll tell the story real quick.
Because Maisie yelled, "There's brown people swimming in the pool the other day."
My pop-ups yelled at me before.
Why? No, actually, she said, "Why are people brown?" Really loud. I had to have that discussion in the pool. I'm just trying to float with a White Claw. Come on, man.
This morning on the way to school, Tommy asked, he's like, "Is God in the sky?" And then I'm driving, and then my wife's like, "We don't know." And then he starts asking, he's like, and then like my wife's like, "We don't know if God's a man or a woman."
Why are you making it worse? What the fuck, you guys?
Just tell him it is in the sky.
Wait, is your wife like us? I forgot.
What?
Is your wife like us? Is
Yeah,
she
yeah,
like
she's
us?
atheist.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's
So much more attractive now. Too.
They're all atheists. Yeah, all of them.
But anyway, so
we just don't talk about it because my mom's like super religious and Andrea's parents.
Oh, I see.
I forgot my original even point.
No, your son.
Sorry, your son.
Your son.
Oh, yeah. So we're at the mall. I'm getting a shirt for Dan Cummins, the Improv. Because I realized I
that's what nerd dads do when they have a big event.
all my other like button-down
Too
shirts
big,
are
right?
extra large and they're big, boxy.
Yeah.
And I wore my only other two
You look
large.
like a '90s rapper up there. You need some Timberlands.
You're like, why is this shirt so wide? So then we were at the mall. So Tommy and Max want ice cream. We're sitting then at the table in the like food court area, and they're eating ice cream. And there's this lady sitting there. I'm on my phone looking up Bovada gambling, trying to handicap these preseason games. And then
Where's my child?
Tommy like he points at. He's like, I hear like old. And then I'm like, what? What happened? And then he's pointing literally 1 foot from this lady eating ice cream that's like maybe in her 70s, 80s.
Dear
And
God.
he's like, she's old.
Is he doing it to everybody? Is he like black, brown, old, and fat? He's just going
4 eyes.
kabam, kabam. He's just firing off it.
And then so the lady looks up, and then I'm like, I'm doing the fucking cyber dance.
What is
And I'm like, God damn it, Tommy. Anyway.
Did you tell him we don't say things like that?
I
Or like,
should have told him God.
Was the old lady offended and said, "I'm not
And
old,
you
I'm
should have
just
said,
pregnant"?
"This is why people don't want to play with you."
I don't know. Now I'm
go walk in circles.
He speaks his mind. Anyway, all right. Let's take a quick break.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see. What do I got today for music? The name of this band is Passport, and the name of this song is called Bingo Light. It's their newest single. And it's pretty funky, so enjoy this. We'll be back with more on Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan right after this. 1-844-TOMNDAN if you want to call us, and show at tomanddan.com for emails. That is Good Riddance. I don't know if you remember that band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard them in a minute, but they have new music out. Their new album, Thoughts and Prayers, is out right now. Brand new, 2019. And you heard the song, Our Great Divide. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here. Butler is here. News guy Seth Petrozelli is here. We have some listeners that won a White Claw contest.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Brittany Simone is here.
Yes.
As Tom likes
Simone,
to call her.
She won our hashtag Claw Me contest. We do this.
She has many names. She's been a long time valued listener. We love her very, very much. She's been on multiple cruises.
Yep. And by the way, we tried that the new tangerine flavor.
Fucking
I just poured some on ice because we didn't have any in the fridge.
Ooh, did you get one? I want one.
I don't want to try.
And
It's good as fuck.
By the way, Steven, he's our new White Claw rep. He came in here and he told they're selling that limited in BJ's
Wholesale.
Wholesale's only in 24 packs, but it comes like tangerine's a new flavor. But they're testing in different markets. So in Orlando and all the BJ's wholesales, there's the 24-pack variety pack and the tangerines in there. He told me to get them while they're available because once they're sold out, it's going to be a while before they come back in.
Once they're gone, they're gone.
So let's do some news.
Give me 1 second, buddy.
I thought you were supposed to come up with your own. I gotta keep hearing the CT crap.
It's your theme song.
That's the theme.
I thought you were gonna make your own.
Well, I abandoned that once I got this one sent to me.
That's what I thought. I knew you were lazy.
Yeah, no, I worked on one. I just, once I got this one, I'm like, I'm out.
99 MRIs trying to prove he's gonna die. The CT is kicking in with every new hit at the gym. He laid out Kimbo with an attack, but the Russian won't call him back. And we all forgot about that fight. Just more proof alone you're gonna die. From fighting in the UFC to reading news to you and me, you could say he wears a lot of hats, but we'll just focus on his eyes. So hippo people, get off your hooves and put them together for you know who. As if you narps don't have a clue, it's Seth Petrozelli with your Douchebro news.
This song probably didn't help the 20-year-old. It's like, what are they saying? So you getting in a social media fight with John Bustecker?
Oh, yeah, he actually might. We made up a little bit at the end.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was. He
yeah.
started trying to bully you, then you bullied him back because you have bullied him
two
before.
bullies came together: nerd bully versus muscle bully.
Yeah,
and now we have
a karate bully. Karate combination.
Now you guys will meet in the traditional karate studio or dojo.
Yes, dojo.
And you can show him some. He says he does karate at a bow tie, which I'd love to see.
Yeah, Bustecker doesn't remind me of the most coordinated person. Not very much of an athlete.
That's the best thing about even the jungle.
He reminds me of one of those dolls my grandma used to stick in my Easter basket. That's just wire with rubber wrapped around it. It's like a rubber,
a stick bug.
like a stick buddy, and you could move him to make him do anything you want with it. And then eventually one of the wires would snap, and then your dad would throw it in the trash.
That's the great thing about martial. I think, and I see it all the time. Like even at the jungle, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, and karate, like. Everybody that comes in there that's a little bit socially awkward, that has some like issues and stuff like that, it gives them like so much confidence and like I don't know, it makes them like a new, not an ARP. I guess you could just say. It makes them like very very confident and like comfortable with themselves no matter what.
I saw your last karate video.
I enjoyed that.
Of you doing some sort of
dojo dance.
It was just like you were doing air punches and you're doing the
yeah, that's the technical terms. Air punching and
I feel like I'd be too embarrassed to do something like that.
People, it's the same thing as shadow boxing. I mean, when I
but shadow boxing looks cool.
Well, these are actually just this is just a predetermined shadow.
You don't
box
like anything that is like a formality.
It's
right?
very very formal.
Like
well, also it's like you're doing this. You're
pushing air. Pushing air.
You're like
it's called dynamic tension.
You're like pushing an imaginary heavy object forward. I'm just like.
It's so if you do actually hit me, I'm like already everything's tight and ready to get hit, so you're not gonna hurt me.
Well, you explaining it
pushing
makes it
imaginary rock, lifting imaginary belly of lady who's not pregnant.
All right, let's do some news. Cool. Did I say who news brought to you?
No,
it's brought to you by Karate of Orlando. That's it.
Oh, there goes your pay.
That's it.
I didn't have anything. I didn't
say you could do that. That was not an approved plug.
I didn't have anything prepared for that. Okay. Well, I talked about Mike Tyson a couple weeks ago. Last time I was here. One more time, more Mike Tyson news. I don't know why I like him so much. But,
he's an interesting dude that was huge in our childhood.
Now he's got that old Bill Cosby beard.
Oh yeah.
But I thought you guys
would
like this story because it kind of has something to do with you, potheads. So Mike Tyson says that they smoke $40,000 worth of marijuana every month at his ranch.
God damn.
$40,000. Not only has the former boxer become an advocate for marijuana while hosting a podcast called Hot Boxing, but he also explained the extent of his marijuana use in his latest episode. What do we smoke a month? Tyson asked his co-host. It's about $40,000 a month. Yes, $40,000 a month. So Tyson smokes 10 tons of weed at the ranch a month.
He's doing
10
impressions
tons.
now.
Was that Mark Marrow or Mike Tyson?
I don't know.
10 tons of weed isn't $40,000. You know how much?
It
Is that
can't be
not a lot?
like just himself, right? It's
No,
not like
I'm
some
assuming
people.
him and his,
Okay.
a lot
him
of
and his,
people.
him and his
Yeah.
cronies.
Well, it's also the people that stay at the ranch. Isn't it a retreat? I
That
believe
weight can't be accurate.
An ounce of good
Who's
quality
doing the math, Mike
marijuana is
Tyson?
what?
I read
300?
it.
I'm not a math
300,
guy.
350.
Yeah, so an ounce is 350, 16 ounces in a pound. Like you start doing the math, and then
$40,000.
2,000 pounds in a ton. It's gonna be 10 tons. It'd be way more than $40,000.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway,
I didn't know this. It's a
he smokes a
10
shit ton of
He smokes a
weed.
shit ton of
Yeah.
weed.
I mean, I believe that he could have said 10 tons. I mean, maybe he was just being
Yeah,
facetious.
maybe he's exaggerating
You know,
or something.
10 times.
He's definitely I've seen him
Who
in
was that?
different.
Was that Jesse Jackson? Who are you? That was racist. Don't ever do that.
Mike Tyson has either it's a chemical imbalance, it's like a horrible upbringing. Like on Joe Rogan, I heard him talk about like his upbringing, and like he didn't have family. Like at 12 years old, there was a boxing trainer that basically turned him into a fucking killing machine, and that's all he knew. So he's all fucked up. So imagine at this point, it's like a high every day, every waking moment. That's the only way I'm like even. Because without that, I'm swinging and crazy.
I wonder if the boxing made it worse too, like getting hit.
Didn't help.
Sure. I wonder if he would have been good at MMA if you could have like given him some karate training.
I bet you if you some wrestling and some jiu-jitsu. Yeah. I mean, if he trained, why not? He's an athlete. He's a super athlete.
He's a
so
super
of course
athlete.
he'd be if he got taught it back in the day. Of course, I remember a story about him. He was a young kid, like 13 or something like that, pretending to help an old lady cross the road, and then sucked her, punched her, and took her purse and like ran away with the purse. Like that's like he was just like a dirt ball as a kid. I guess.
And then boxing.
He had no
He
boundaries.
was a dirt ball as an adult too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beat his wife and
But we
raped
love him
women.
now. I mean, we love him now. He's
Yeah,
like,
I'll forget.
So
he
you
has
think Mike Tyson Prime versus Seth Petrozelli Prime and like an MMA fight? So all he
MMA
knows,
fight?
all he knows is boxing. What do you think? Because if you watch, we said it before, but you look up videos of Mike Tyson in his prime, like knocking people out.
It's ridiculous.
He's a scary motherfucker.
Sick,
You're like, holy shit, this guy's
he's
punch could kill me.
He was killing people. Like,
How tight and fast he was. And
Like,
that
I think there are
uppercut.
people that like actually fought him that like they were like, that's it, I'm done. I'm out of the game.
They
You know,
retired.
like,
Yeah.
I'm out. You know, like that's not good for me.
This guy's not even on the same level of human as I am.
If I ever did, I'd have to shoot the lowest single leg possible on him, because just even like trying to clinch with him, he's got such badass uppercuts in dirty boxing where it's like you can't clinch and like press him. Well, you could, but it'd be tough. I'd like literally on my knees shoot a low single, like an ankle pick or something like that. And that's the only way that I could possibly foresee. Anyway,
so he
either that or I'll stand back and spin kick him in his fucking head.
You're right. He's not expecting kicks.
No.
That's the thing about fighting a boxer.
That's your leg.
So I could kick. But at the end of it, he does have a 40-acre ranch that he broke ground on to research the effects of marijuana and of the drug.
Yep,
and what it
get
does.
you high. Back to you, Mike.
I don't know that he's doing research. I think that's just for his supply.
Yeah. Well, that's what you say though, to make it like good with all society. But
That's
like,
what we
I'm
say.
growing all this
We're like,
for
it's
research.
medical. Yeah, get a doctor. Get a recommendation. Okay, yeah, you need it. I just want to get high.
It helps everybody.
Yeah. It's like really does good. Oh, stop my seizures. Yeah, yes.
But how much is
by seizures? I mean, it stopped me from being bored.
I have some trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
At what
I'm having
point?
a sleep seizure. I'm having a wake seizure. This I say, look at, I'm seizing out right now. I can't go to bed.
I have nothing against like recreational like weed use and stuff like that. But at what point does it become like escaping from reality? Like that's the only thing.
Oh, every point.
Yeah. That's what it was all for.
What do you mean?
I mean, some of it's like.
I mean, drinking, I guess, would be escaping from reality. But like,
you like
so
reality?
excessive.
Yeah, but
Not me.
it's the same shit with like antidepressants and like
fucking
any
mad.
sort of drug. Like
Only when I'm on a date.
Anything that changes or alters your mind or whatever, it's a chemical, whatever. And people use it for marijuana use, like
Caffeine,
They are on it all the
nicotine.
time. Like I know people that right when they wake up, they're high all the time.
So why
every
is
day.
that okay, but drinking all the time isn't okay, or smoking cigarettes?
I don't
all the
think
time
either
isn't
is okay.
No, people are way more okay with people smoking weed constantly. Oh, it's just weed. Who gives a shit? It's just
Yes,
it's weed.
yeah.
Now that's okay, but drinking it, like, it makes no sense to me.
Well, you get in more trouble drinking. Like, there's you see all the jokes and the memes of like you know someone gets drunk, they get in fights or start shit. If someone's high, they're just like
it's
chilling.
also poison. Yeah, but
having
you're
a
right.
good time.
No, it ruins your own.
You don't get aggressive. You don't get sloppy. You don't hurt yourself or others.
But you're right. But there's
Smoking weed.
I freaked the fuck out. I wanted to run. I was throwing people off me trying to get to the hospital.
This is the guy who also punches the back of fucking airplane seats when you freak
Yeah,
the fuck
you're
out
a
too.
different
Like,
animal.
you're a
No,
weirdo.
but I see what you're saying. Like, we're so in love with marijuana nowadays that no matter what its use, like it's fine to everybody.
Exactly.
I'm not saying
I
that.
think that
I'm
that
just
is blinding
saying it's better than being drunk all the time.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Health wise and everything, you're right, 100%.
Not
But
if you're smoking blunts. No, it's not.
if you're high all day, every day, that's not, what are you doing? Now, if you want to do that and you can live your life like that, who cares? You're not bothering anybody else. But it's probably if you want to, advance in your career or get shit done or, then.
I like how EJ is trying to comment in the chat room, and he just wrote, "I don't use either. I better than everyone." Yeah,
He's a caveman.
You is better than everyone.
I've been getting. Here's the thing. I've been getting high every day for probably 2.5 years now. Like I haven't missed a day.
I didn't know that.
But it's at night.
I quit
when I when I'm done with everything that I have to do and all my responsibilities are done. That's when I do it. I don't get high during the day.
I guess it's still a habit to me. That I don't know.
Unless-
I
went a little.
It's the same as people drinking at
too far last night.
No, it's
I rode the 3 Zen Theranos.
No, yeah.
And then
You still owe me a red pill.
Okay, and I freaked out.
You took 3 red?
No, 3
Oh.
Zen Theragels, and then I freaked out while eating pussy.
But for some people, dude, I know
Wait, what?
people
Nothing.
that
Don't talk about it.
instead of like antidepressants and things like that, they use marijuana to keep themselves even,
Yeah.
and that's the thing too. And it's like, if it works for you, great. And
guess.
it's like anything. How much is it hindering your life? How much is it affecting your life?
But it could be affecting other, and maybe it's not affecting you, but like people that you're around and stuff like that, they notice like you're like I noticed it like
You
with
smile a
people
lot.
that no, you don't smile like you're just not all that. Like you ask them something, then they
You're
just
out
kind
of
of
it a
forget.
little
You're
bit.
out of it. It's
You're not sharp.
and it's
You're not
fucking annoying. Like half the time, it's like fuck, listen to me. Stop being stupid right now and like pay attention.
You left your
Yeah,
fucking
Tom.
That's
you left
annoying.
your fucking baby wipes open in the bathroom, and you stunk it up when Godfrey was going in there.
Somebody else
Leave it alone
did
everywhere.
not flush when I just went in there for the break.
I blamed you. We had comedian Godfrey, and by the way, great interview. You guys should all check it out.
Oh,
The
yeah.
video and the audio will be up very, very soon. But I blamed you, Butler, for stinking up the bathroom.
Yeah,
I
because
apologize.
he went in there to see his
I have to
signature, and I was
apologize.
like, God damn, we
when
gotta hit
I'm
the
wrong,
face.
I'm wrong. Yeah, Godfrey opened the door, and he was like, Godfrey, meet goddamn, because it was like, whoosh, and it was Mike Charette. It was comedian Mike Charette. He blew it up.
Yeah.
And he didn't even turn the fan on, motherfucker. He's an animal. He just let it sit hot in the air. When I walked in there, it smelled like a goddamn Vietnam jungle. It was terrible.
Then we were like, did Butler come here and shit?
Yeah,
And then,
I'm
haul
like,
ass?
I'm so sorry, Godly. I'm so sorry, Godly. I was like, our sales guy, he blew it all up, and then he fled because he's a fucking coward.
right,
you
what's
an
the next
apology.
story?
I
Sorry,
apologize.
Half the chat's assholes, by the way.
Come on, we're
don't
hurting
get
your feelings, little
feelings
baby.
hurt.
Just because everyone's so for it right now, I am too. I'm all for legalization, and I'm all for it. That's fine. It's just not for me.
No,
right now.
like anything.
I just think like anything, a habit is a habit.
Abused,
It can be abused.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dude,
man.
and then if you're high every day, all day, unless it becomes a problem. You're probably addicted to it. You can become addicted to THC.
You can
or
become
at least
addicted,
a feeling.
You can become addicted to anything.
Not chemically addicted,
You
but
can
you're
become addicted to fitness. I mean, there
Oh,
are
I'm
people that,
not gonna. I'll be the first to admit if
Well,
I go a
you-
day without
you-
it, I want to punch you.
but
in
you
the
also
face.
probably have to keep that in check, though, too, right?
Now-
and not overtrain.
no.
Now here's the
All
thing.
right.
No,
There it
I
is.
know I do.
If
I do.
and
I try to.
The good thing is if you're addicted to it, it's not going to hurt you in the long run, except for the fact that you're high all the time. So then people are like, "This guy's high all the time."
It's still smoke
Whatever.
going in your lungs. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. If
Well,
it's-
you can eat.
no,
Yeah,
you can
I don't
consume
smoke.
depending how you ingest it or take
yeah.
it, then yes.
I
but
haven't smoked weed.
Weed
in
itself is still smoke in your lungs. You can still get
years.
cancer. It's
Haven't
a
smoked
carcinogen.
weed
in your-
in years.
Yeah,
There's
no one
so many
smokes
other
weed
ways
anymore.
to
Bullshit.
There's lotions, there's patches,
Well,
there's
vaping is not a
Theragels.
carcinogen, so
Okay.
You could put the lotion
So if
on
I
your
so if
dog.
I vape those damn vape alcohol balloons, it's okay.
Yeah.
What are those?
What is that?
Yeah, you get fucked
You guys
up.
ever do
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
I've never done that.
It's on
What are
Wall.
you talking about?
It's on Wall Street. There's alcohol balloons. You could just suck on
Can
them.
we get those in here? I want to try an alcohol.
What
balloon.
if it's vaporized
99
alcohol?
balloons.
And then
I'll
you
find
suck
it
it
for
in
you.
and get
Yeah.
you drunk.
Can you get
Yeah,
us
it gets you
Yeah,
really
today?
drunk like fast.
I want that.
because you're going through your lungs.
Let's do a show. Let's do the
Oh,
last
I don't
segment of a
like
Friday
that.
Free show.
It's kind of like butt chugging.
We'll all butt chug. Let's just butt chug instead.
All right, next door.
Next one. Speaking of fucked up things, people are still drinking bleach and vomiting and pooping their guts out. The U.S.
All right.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration this week released an important health warning that everyone should heed. Drinking bleach is dangerous and potentially life-threatening. Duh. The warning should seem very unnecessary, but guzzling bleach is unfortunately a persistent problem. Unscrupulous sellers have sold miracle bleach elixirs for decades, claiming they can cure everything from cancer to HIV, AIDS, hepatitis, flu, hair loss, and more. Some have promoted it to parents as a way to cure autism in children.
Well, that one's true.
Of course, these health claims are false and that it's toxic to drink and can cause severe diarrhea, vomiting, low blood pressure, liver failure.
These are just dumb people, right?
These are just. But listen to how many people. Wait, just wait. The FDA noted that some sellers will warn against these side effects, but say that it's just proof that it's working. The numbers, okay, here are the numbers. Since 2014, 16,500 cases of people getting affected from drinking.
That's a lot.
My
bleach.
God.
Isn't that ridiculous?
That's a lot.
So-
is
so-
that just
but-
in the United States or is that worldwide?
Damn it, I'm not that
Probably
good of a
United
reporter.
States. I don't think we're going to be checking the numbers of how many Nigerians are guzzling bleach.
Dude, you
It
said
just doesn't seem like something we
But
do.
only
right?
8 of those died, so it's not as bad as we thought.
Well, still,
God
16,000.
damn, that's a lot of fucking people, though, man.
So they're selling
50 life-threatening.
now.
You
Is
broke
it
up the room with that one, buddy.
is it people finding like on the internet like, oh, this will cure, and then they drink their own bleach, or they're buying a product that says
It's
like,
probably a combination of both, because there are sellers that sell like stuff that's not called bleach, but it has the same chemical ingredients as it's just bleach with like tasty bleach. I guess you could say.
Okay.
Tasty bleach.
Well, let's not make
Lavender
bleach
flavored.
tasty.
well, it's they.
Chat room is requesting no shirt news Fridays.
So wow,
yeah, they're getting horny. We got a horny lady in there. Lemon Sweetie, you're a horny lady, and I salute you. You win a prize.
So the I guess
Got to do something for the ladies, right?
Seth
It's not
can say-
fair.
then I can say
we do
whatever.
it we do it as guys. It's only fair.
now follow this line of logic. I can understand dodos thinking to themselves like, okay, I use bleach to kill bacteria, right? And then next thing you know, you got some sort of disease. And
Bubba's,
then in your mind, you're like, I'll drink the bleach. It'll kill
No,
whatever.
but
it is.
Bubba's granny, Mary Louise Johnson, that we worked with when we did morning radio.
Yeah.
She's an older Cajun lady, a black lady, used to put a cup full of bleach in her bathtub, dilute it with water, and then sit in it to clean herself. Seriously. I think there are people. I think for years.
Does that help
like,
with butthole blackness?
No, I
bleach
think
water?
I think it was just like to you know what I mean. Like there are
Yeah.
people that believe. You know, like my dad thought, but when I got my thumb stung by a wasp, my dad stuck it in turpentine because he thought that
It's all
that's-
wives' tale
Yeah, it's all
there.
wives, and then it swelled up huge. I had to go to the emergency room.
My dad rubbed a daisy leaf on it or something like that. Some sort of flower.
This will turn you
yeah.
But yeah, it's ridiculous.
My
Now,
fat gay son, I'm rubbing daisies on him.
the
Some cure.
I wonder why anybody doesn't consult anybody before they do this kind of shit. Is it because when they go on the internet, is they search for the thing they want to search, and then it tells you
What you want to hear. It probably verifies what you want to hear.
So
I'm
it's like,
pretty sure if you Googled is drinking bleach okay, like it's
No,
not,
but they're not Googling
No site's
that.
gonna pop up.
You know,
Yeah,
you can
they're
have a
not-
little bit. If
they're
you
not
have dirty
Googling.
water, like in an emergency situation, it's okay to put a tiny bit of bleach in, like
yeah.
a big, like
you can
depending on the amount.
consume a tiny amount of
Yeah,
bleach.
yeah.
It's
like
probably
pool
not
water.
A
I
lot
mean,
of
you drink it, yeah.
Why
Well,
does it
it's
turn?
chlorine.
Why does it turn like if
Well, I
I
have
get
a
it
saltwater
on me?
pool,
Why
so-
does it turn me white?
It's because it's powerful enough to, I guess, stain. It's
Like, it like pulls the color out, right?
Is it pulling the color out of my
bleach is
skin?
Killing
Yeah.
everything, man.
Yeah.
Sodium hypochlorite.
I'm gonna start soaking my hands in it so I have Mickey Mouse hands.
I'm gonna
Then I
spurt it on some people's butt cheeks and get some bleach the butthole.
So they
have you
that
ever had
already.
your butthole bleached?
Nope. No, why would I have it bleached?
I thought you
Because
like.
you shit yourself.
You don't like
all the
girls to
time.
eat your ass
It's-
either.
it's
I
not-
have an amazing bidet that cleans my butt 3 times a day.
You
whenever I
don't.
go.
but it's
You
still
don't
not-
let them
still
eat. What if
stained.
they want to eat your ass?
I don't let that happen. That's not
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was
that's
all.
because of his tail.
No,
Oh, yeah.
that's not why. I mean, I've had it there. I've had it done a couple of times.
I got you have the purple dragon tail.
So you don't like it? That's odd.
I mean, I do and I don't.
Some guys
It's
are
just-
really into that.
Yeah.
You know, it starts with the bottom of the shaft, then it's the balls.
That I like.
Then the balls, and the next thing, and then when the girls suck the balls, sometimes they suck them, and there's like, and I'm like, don't do that. That hurts.
It
Fucking hurts.
No,
Don't do
the
that.
taint is very nice, yes, but any further
The taint, I know. The taint, like, is your seam. Sometimes I touch that down there, and I'm like, what if that shit splits open? Is everything gonna dump out?
Oh yeah.
Is everything gonna
Like
dump
a
out the
zipper?
bottom?
Yeah, like a big bad.
Yeah, it's like a zipper. Yeah, I don't like touching it. When I touch it, it's rough. It's rigid. It's like put a better seal on it. The fit and the finish on the human body is terrible. It's sand that shit down.
Yeah.
Smooth it out. Put some Bondo on.
Bad weld, yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
God, don't
some
put
Jamie
hair.
Weld on it.
You put hair down there and it made it worse.
No, I like the hair.
Oh, you do?
I like the hair on me. You're the only
Oh.
one that like he shaves like a baby.
I do
He's
too.
Like, well, let's
except
both
for-
show us. Compare.
Under everything, like I get under there and everything.
It'll be like, look, it's an Adonis. It's the statue of David. Look, it's the Geico pig.
How dare you? You got one last story?
I got two more.
Okay, go ahead.
Unless it's not bad. Oh, God, this is the one I gotta. No.
Oh, is this the one you're like these dumb kids with cancer? And these are laughing.
No,
about
it's not. That's not never that bad. Man dies after a taco eating contest in California baseball game.
He died.
Good God,
What a
Seth.
taco eating contest. for God's sake.
Did he? Okay, what happened?
Hang on.
Was it Burger King tacos?
A man died Tuesday night after participating in a taco eating contest at a minor league baseball game. It took place at Chuck Chauncey Park in Fresno, California. The man, his name was Dana Hutchins. He was 41. He collapsed after eating the tacos, and they didn't say.
God damn.
They didn't say how many tacos he ate. I was really wondering how many he actually got down before his body.
Does it really matter?
Yeah, that's important. Because I want to know. Because I do eating contests sometimes. So that's like it's kind of scary.
Well, he didn't choke, right? It was more of a.
Well, I'll tell you right now. It said he died shortly after being rushed to the hospital. We are not ruling on a cause of death yet. But we have an idea. The sheriff department said, that's the best part of the whole story. It was, quote, but we have an idea.
What was his idea? Was it a heart attack?
No, he's just in bad shape and ate too many fucking tacos. He died.
Well,
Like
you
the
don't
glutton.
die from eating too many tacos.
Yeah,
if
it's
that's the
like,
case,
just like Seven
would have been
just like the movie Seven, where he was eating pasta till he died. Like,
I mean, you can
it comes up all the way and you choke. Maybe.
That's a movie.
Follow me with this. You can be.
Dude, they have a hot dog eating contest. They eat 70 goddamn hot dogs.
Yeah, they're trained fat asses. So
Like,
it's okay.
They're skinny.
Jesus Christ. Follow me
it
with
was a
this.
figure speech.
You're a heavier dude. You're not in good shape. Your heart's not good because you're just carrying a lot. I'm assuming here, okay? I don't know what this guy looks like. If you stress your body that much, right, you could have a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, then
I would imagine
then
that's what happened.
You died from
Sodium,
the
all
heart
that shit,
attack.
yeah.
No, right, but the taco eating contest is what spurred
Is the
on
trigger.
the heart
I
attack.
don't know if if you eat a tremendous amount of food that
meat
has anything
sweats.
to do with the heart attack.
Oh, I had the chicken sweats yesterday. My
Yeah,
God.
it lowers or raises your blood pressure because but your blood
Yeah.
is down there. I think it might lower it. Maybe I don't know. It's one of the two.
I don't know. I'm not
So
doctor.
what is the cause of most like heart attacks for men, older men? Like what is the catalyst that sparks it? Because obviously it's a buildup of plaque around your arteries and whatever, and then all of a sudden there's something like it gets so thin that there's some sort of catalyst that is like boom, a heart attack.
Viagra.
But sometimes it's just people have heart attacks just sitting in the cars or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
genetics sometimes.
But can food, like you eat a tremendous amount of food, could that be the catalyst to a heart attack? I've never heard that.
The damage is already done. That's just like the
Yeah.
icing on the cake. You know what I mean?
Because usually, like, strenuous
It wasn't just
activity.
those tacos that killed him. It was his lifestyle prior to those tacos.
Maybe,
and
but
it was
I mean,
that would just happen.
But
And
was
they're
it
like,
the
fuck it, that's done.
adrenaline from the contest rather
Do
than
they
the
have a
taco?
picture
Probably.
of the guy in the story? Do they have a picture of him?
No, they didn't have a picture.
Yeah,
I should have
'cause
Googled a
How
picture.
old was he?
41.
That's pretty young for a
That's
heart attack,
very
dude.
young.
I don't know,
Very
man.
young.
So I don't
Did
think
he
that's
choke?
yeah.
It says he
41.
choked,
It's like
yeah.
6 more
Oh,
years.
Oh,
okay,
they're saying he
choked.
choked.
Okay. Yeah, because those 41-year-olds don't have heart attacks. I mean,
then
it happened, but
I
it
mean, when
doesn't.
you do those eating contests, I mean, I remember the last one I did. It was the very final one I did. It was at a Hooters. Dirty Jim was there, or Jim Colbert was there. and it was like a hot wing eating competition, and they had to have legally a paramedic on site to make sure that these guys didn't choke on these chicken wings.
Yeah, there's too much liability.
Yeah.
Stand by me.
Dude, we know a radio personality that got fired and so the whole show and the
We
whole
for a
station
we. Yeah.
because they did a contest, We for a We, and the contestants had to drink as much water without peeing.
You can die.
And then she died from fucking water intoxication
Yeah.
or whatever. And then, so, I mean, shit like that from those contests, like, and then they sue crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
Is it
surprised.
just because there was too many tacos in there? They couldn't get it all out? Because I mean,
It wasn't hard.
They
and
said they
then-
tried to clear his airway, but then he died less than 30 minutes later. You
Wow.
couldn't get the food out of him?
Yeah,
It must have been hard tacos.
If there's a paramedic there.
No, easier
like,
to eat. Soft talker is the one that
goo
gooey,
up.
that flour.
I thought the sharpness would just
I think
go,
the
sideways.
corn goes down faster. Plus, they're better for you. Soft talk and flour talk is worse for
Well,
you.
when
have
you
corn
puke it
flour.
up, though, like you're choking.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
No, if you can't get any air, through and it's stuck in there.
That's why my for karate helps out. That's what
to do that.
Because you just channel and then just exhale and it'll that gives us strength. So if you train karate, maybe,
buffing.
it might have been okay.
You've done some eating contests, right? What's the
A
most you
bunch,
ever
a
eaten
bunch.
one?
The
How many
the
butts have
smoky
you eaten
bones
in
one,
one
I
night?
had like 6.5 pounds.
Oh my god!
And the guy, okay,
6.5 pounds of what?
This was like 8 burger and topping and pulled stuff on top.
Pulled
and cider
pork
and
and-
everything.
yeah.
Yeah. So the guy that beat me by literally one fucking swallow, I swear to God, there was like 80 people in this competition. And he beat me by one swallow. I had it in my mouth. He swallowed. He opened it first, and then I did it. It broke down to like 3 categories. Anyway, after he won, he was super full. I ordered dessert, and I ate the dessert right in front of him, just to fucking prove my point. Yeah, fucking pussy.
Express your dominance.
I did.
That guy.
But that and at bets, I have the most burger challenges eaten ever. So I have my picture up there the most.
No, really,
wow.
you've done it the most.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
But that was downtown. They're not there anymore, which kind of
Yeah,
sucks.
it does suck. They closed down, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, last story.
But wait, the funny thing about this is that was Tuesday. So this Saturday, the park is hosting the world's taco eating championship.
They should cancel that.
And they said officials are debating whether or not they are going to continue doing this.
No,
anymore.
they should cancel it out of respect. A motherfucker died. And you mean to tell
what
me?
they should do is name the contest after him and keep doing it.
Should be a nacho.
He'll be remembered forever. That's how I'd want to be. If I died doing something,
I think it would
I wanna
slow
be,
everybody
No,
down.
I don't
a
want
little
my
bit.
okay. So if my dad dies on a taco eating contest, and then you want the name of that, I'd be embarrassed
No.
every year when it came around.
You'd rather people forget his name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
because taco eating contests are fucking
Not me.
embarrassing.
Not me.
Also, how the hell did they even once
some
that
balls,
happens,
right?
then you stop. You're like, we can never do any of this.
Yeah.
By the way, we can't do any contests
Yeah,
anymore.
that's some balls.
Our lawyers say stop doing everything. Like we can't even have this team.
Legally, maybe, but nothing good comes with.
It's a minor league baseball game. You could find something else to do. Tiny bat night, bobblehead night. I could give you 1,000 ideas.
We have a caller that wants to tell a story about an embarrassing moment at a hot dog eating contest.
What line? Line 2?
Line 2.
Line 2. All right. Who is this?
This is Richard Rucker. How are you?
Hey, Richard Rucker. How you doing, man? You staying safe out there?
Yeah, driving right now up to Atlanta.
Dig it, man.
All right.
Well, please, we always think about you. We appreciate how much you actually participate on the show. So what happened at the old hot dog eating contest?
So when I was like 18, 19 years old, my aunt had a company picnic for the company she worked for, and she took me and my brother along as her kids because we couldn't afford dinner that night. I know it's really fucking embarrassing, but whatever.
Well, it's more sad than
so-
embarrassing.
Yeah, but we go to her company picnic, and they're having a hot dog eating contest. I'm 19 years old, and all of a sudden, my aunt and uncle start pressuring me into, "You're big, you're a fat guy. You can do this hot dog eating contest." So
You're a big fat.
They'll just think you're pregnant. You're okay.
You're a big fat relative. Get in there and eat. Are you pregnant?
Why you
Eat.
Yeah.
Why are you so fat if your parents can't afford food? Right?
Well, yeah.
Shitty food.
They could only
Yeah,
afford
exactly.
cheap food that
Yeah.
was,
Right.
yeah.
It's always cheap food that gets you.
So I win this hot dog eating contest. I ate 7 in 5 minutes. Nobody else was even fucking trying. I could have coasted, but I didn't.
Free hot dog.
They were free hot dogs, and I hadn't really been eating much.
Oh.
So This is so fucking embarrassing, but for some reason, they called time, I knew I'd won. I threw my hands up in the air, forgetting that I was holding an open fucking water bottle, and just soaked everybody on the table and let out a Ric Flair, woo!
Yeah.
And it was just so fucking embarrassing. But anyway, I win this $100 gift card to Walmart, and then my aunt and uncle didn't even let me keep the fucking gift card.
That's bullshit. You ate those hot dogs.
You were their fat little worker.
They did take you there,
Tom always the asshole.
Well, I'm just saying, it's her business and her employee party, and they knew you were going to do well at this.
I would have done 50-50 with you.
Yeah.
You had to suffer through all
The
this hot dogs.
The only thing I got out of the deal was heartburn and maybe future diabetes.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
It was awful.
Did you at least buy something good at Walmart
That's all
when
right.
she took it?
Yeah, what did they buy? What did they buy?
I could guess.
Fucking hot dogs.
Value.
No, they bought several things. I think they used it to buy groceries for the week or whatever. But yeah, we grew up poor. So.
Well, it's not that embarrassing. I thought you were gonna shit your pants.
Yeah, that's where I thought it was going.
You said woo and threw the other thing.
It was so embarrassing. I put some water on people. I'm still to this day.
Your
I'm
embarrassment gauge is all thrown off because you growing up so poor that you couldn't afford food. More embarrassing than saying woo and winning a contest.
Wow.
Can we change the story and say you sharted all over yourself and dripped on your leg during the contest?
I think we are now desensitized or
You're right.
resensitized. I don't even know what the term would be. We're looking for more.
Yeah.
Because the people that typically call into the
It's all
show
extreme.
stories are so horrible that when we get a normal one that would be embarrassing to the normal people, we can't handle it.
All right, well,
Take a break?
Yeah, we need to take a break. What was your last story, Seth? This is real quick. Sorry.
It's about gay penguins.
Gay penguins?
Yes, gay penguins. They adopt an egg after attempting to hatch stones at a zoo. A gay penguin couple at a Berlin zoo have been given an egg to adopt after staff noticed their attempts to hatch stones. Two king penguins, Skipper and Ping, were given the egg last month. The egg given to them was from a female penguin at the zoo who had been unable to hatch her egg for a number of years in a row.
This is great.
So sad for that female penguin.
Why? Well, no.
Hold on. The men in the penguin species, the males,
They're the ones that
they're the ones that sit on the eggs
they
and
sit
do
on
it.
the
Like,
eggs,
so,
yeah.
in this a natural. What website are you on, Seth?
This was on a lot of. This is a big story.
Randy.
This was on a lot of different
All
stories.
right.
It's legit. It's easy to find. It's a
Alex
big thing.
Jones.
They're turning the penguins gay.
But the staff noticed signs that the two penguins wanted an egg and had been attempting to hatch like the fish and stones that are around the park.
Yeah.
They have
That just
been.
shows how stupid you are. It's not even a fucking egg, you dum-dum.
But since they've gotten the egg, they have been exemplary parents, staying close to each other and protecting the egg from other right-wing extremist penguins.
No.
Yeah, there it is. Right, comedy,
You know, my initial instinct to go to break was right.
Yeah,
all
right.
Always trust that.
Always trust your host instincts.
Yeah.
He just snort fart laugh.
Check.
Everything was going fine until that.
Well, I thought you guys would like that.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna put Butler in some armor, a suit of armor,
whack him.
Am I kicking him?
because we got a gentleman in from the Orlando Black Knights Armored Combat League.
They're white guys. I saw
They're
them.
white. I was just looking at them. They're white.
Of course they're white. They're dressed in armor and fight each other. This
Yeah,
is not,
fucking
this is
nerds.
not a minority thing to do. I'm
It's
just
a
saying.
nerdy white
It isn't.
thing.
Yeah, it is a dirty white thing.
Yeah. Like Pokemon.
Yeah.
I know.
Excuse me, my dice fell out of my pocket.
yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, here
All
we
right.
go. The name of this band is Beef. This is new music. The name of the song Slide. It's from their Bull in the Shade album. We'll be right back with more Mediocre Time.
There it is.
That is Bristol to Memory, the name of the song wrapped up. It's their brand new single. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Butler's here. Seth Petrozelli is here.
Konnichiwa.
We're having a White Claw party. EJ's here, and then we have some other special guests that will be making their way to the studio now.
Real quick, I know I just saw some of those proofs, and I know.
Yeah, I'll put this on Twitch.
Yeah, Mark Larabelle from Vintage Paper Company. We do a lot of stuff with him, printing.
Yeah, did the headbands,
and he's done a lot of different things for us. You could check it out. But he's doing these iPhone watches. They bands.
Yeah, Apple Watch bands.
Yeah, Apple Watch bands, and they're awesome. And we'll have those up soon for pre-order because we don't know. Like, I don't want to order a shit ton of one color, so he has the ability to. He told me he's like,
I like this red.
We'll put them up for pre-order, and then his turnaround's like 10 days, so we can find out who wants what, and then. Put
What
them out
about
there.
us poros that don't have Apple Watches?
Then you're fucked.
I mean, you could use it. It could be a belt for a small child.
You can tape it to your watch. I don't know.
It could be a dog. I thought it was a dog collar.
It could be a dog collar.
Of sorts.
It's really tiny neck.
Yeah, if you buy one, you can do whatever the fuck you want to with it. I don't care.
A cock ring.
Could be a cock ring.
So we got an email a while back from these gentlemen, and they are from Orlando Black Knights Armored Combat Team. And Seth, have you ever seen this remember on the History Channel? I think it was the History Channel.
Yeah.
A lot of them come to not these specific guys here, but there's a group that comes to my gym on Wednesdays and does that. They're in armor and they beat the crap out of each other back in my gym.
So I saw this, like they had a reality show for a while. We'll talk to the gentleman about it. But it was dudes that dressed up full armor, like knights, and then they would actually combat, like full combat. Like it would be, hey, really fight. This is not a play fight. This is not wrestling. It's like actually see who wins in a fight. And they would have, I believe, like dull weapons and things. You know, they wouldn't
had weapons,
actually like. Really hurt each other, but I imagine you just get hurt. And it was pretty fucking crazy. So I was like, I've seen this before. I want to talk to these guys. And I also told them to bring down a suit of armor for Butler to put on because I wanted to do, 90s.
Yeah, it's 90s. Then
So-
we'll stick our dicks in the eye hole and piss in there. We're pissing in your eyes. We'll be right back.
Why would you do this?
That's what 90s.
Like, I'm your employee.
Yeah, that's what radio guys do. Yeah, come on in, man. Yeah. Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for coming in.
Corey
Appreciate
and
it.
Alex are here from the Armored Combat League. How you gentlemen doing?
Dandy.
So tell me about what this is about.
Tell
I'm
me
not the
about
best host,
what
though.
this is about.
Yeah. So how did you guys get into this?
For myself, I actually saw the same show.
Okay.
Right. So Armored Combat League is from that show. So it's the same league that from Night Fight.
Yeah, move that mic just a little bit closer to you so we can get you on.
So
there.
were you into this before, or literally you saw that show and you're like, hey, that looks cool?
No, well, so I've trained in MMA for over a decade. So when I saw it, I get to harness my inner geek. Right? So it's kind of like MMA with full armor on.
No shit. So now, when did you ever do anything with armor before this, or like you saw this particular incarnation of like fighting, and you're like, that looks awesome?
Yeah.
Because to me, it looks like
Is this LARPing?
No.
Yeah, explain. Yeah.
So it's full steel armor and full steel weapons. Our weapons are dulled down to 3 millimeters, so they're not sharp and we don't stab. But everything is allowable. We leverage grappling. At the same time. Yeah.
So basically, it's two people getting full.
Well, it's more than that, right?
Okay.
So we can do melee battles. We're traditionally a melee team, so normally it's 5 versus 5.
Okay.
But we can go as high as 10 versus 10, 20 versus 20. It just depends.
And when you set this up, say you have a 5 versus 5. First, where do you do this? Because I assume it's not in the Baldwin Park.
No, actually, we train downtown at American Combat Club. That's our gym.
Oh, I love that gym.
Mitch and
So
Vinny are
good.
big supporters.
He's like,
I heard he got his own
I heard
gym.
it's awesome. It's clean.
Oh crap!
Just remember, here's the good one.
I'm really good. Me and Mitch and Vinny used to train when we first started, freaking 15 years together. And then we all
So I've been with them for years.
We all just split off.
Yeah.
And so, do you have to find, because it seems like it's a niche that would be hard to find people to get into, because not only do you have to be into fighting, you have to be tough as shit, but then like the suit of armor, do you provide that?
No, it's a cost for them. They provide it. It's
Okay.
consumables, right? So like for MMA guys, our boxing gloves, mouth guards, that's all a consumable product. So they provide their own. But honestly, we've been doing this for a month now, and it is not hard to find people that want to do this.
Well-
I mean, the team's up to 20 guys already, guys and girls.
So with okay, let's talk about buying a suit of armor, because
Where do you go? Men's warehouse.
Dude, I put on
You're gonna love the way you look.
the helmet, and the helmet, how much does that helmet weigh?
12 pounds.
So that helmet's 12 pounds, and when you put it on, you're like, God damn, this thing is like no joke. And I imagine that they're all custom made. So like, what is a typical cost of a suit of armor, and how do you even get it?
Yeah, it kind of depends on what you want, right? You're getting what you pay for. So some suits can be about $2,500,
God
but
damn.
it can be as high as $6,000.
That's what I want.
Right?
Yeah, I want mine.
that's-
I want mine shiny
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
No, I get the
Real
Craigslist.
gold.
But you can have all kinds of things, right? They're customizable. But for us, it's important that they're period specific.
Oh, okay,
So
all right.
They have to
I'm
be
sorry.
historically accurate.
Yeah,
and
my
so do
wife's
the-
period's real specific.
But the weapons have to be as well.
So now what? Because this is how dumb I am about history. Like I just assumed it's all like, oh yeah, the knights, that was one time, and then all of a sudden it moved on to something that, you know.
What comes after that?
So
What came after that?
The 80s.
After
The 80s came after that.
After knights
Rubik's
were
Cube.
cannons, and after cannons were planes, or you're that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what what typical period do you find one suit of armor, and then how does it change, and what's the variety?
Yeah, so traditionally we want them to be between the 13th and 16th century.
Okay.
Yeah, and they can have Eastern or Western armor, and you can buy it all over the place. I mean, in Europe, this has been going on for decades. So there's armorers in the Ukraine, in Moscow, all over the place. But we have like Ice Falcon and Andre, who's the owner of the league. He's got the oldest armory in the United States. So.
Really?
It's the real name, by the way.
So,
Ice Falcon.
Ice Falcon, yeah, that's his
Falcon.
real name.
That's the real name of his, that's his fighting name as well.
Yeah.
That's the name of his armory. Yeah.
So we all watched, I assume most of the country watched Game of Thrones, and we're like, and familiar with like suits of armor. Now, what consists, like you said in that particular time frame, what's good about the armor in that time frame that you guys like, and what does it consist of, like head to toe? Because I imagine it changes. Like, we all know about the helmet. Then what?
Yeah,
happens?
then you've got gauntlets like we brought, this gauntlet, right?
So that's a
you can
glove.
Have, a glove.
That's a
right?
jack-off glove.
Yeah, it's a massive jack-off glove.
Yeah, that'll get you.
Here, Seth, put that glove on and see.
Or somebody put the
punch
helmet
somebody.
on so I can
Thanos.
punch someone in
Seth
it.
is afraid of putting it on. He's like, "Did you wash the inside of this? I'm gonna get an airborne disease."
As long as I afterwards.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah,
So-
and it works well, right? So
Yeah, it
I was
does.
trying to do the flick it off thing. I can't.
we all.
I can't get
So,
my middle
hey, this
finger
is
up.
Such a child.
Hey, it's a real thing, right? We use mitten gauntlets like that
like
because we're using steel weapons.
Yeah,
If
you wanna-
you have finger gauntlets that have armor on your fingers, but there have been people that have lost a finger. They've caught an axe at the junction of the finger, bye finger.
Oh my God!
At the,
Hey, we have cups to
Hey,
say
bye
bye
bye fingers.
up.
This guy's on brand.
yeah. But at the same time, that allows us to punch well.
I got it.
They're striking along with it.
So now,
Can you get hurt in this?
That's what I was gonna
Well,
ask.
I mean, it's just like any other sport, right?
Yes.
Football or MMA, right? Guys
Right.
get hurt all the time. Rugby, yes, you can get hurt. I mean, you're not going to get.
What kind of injuries have you guys sustained doing this type of like battling?
It's mainly like bumps and bruises, nasty bruises. You're going to get hit all the time. So
okay, the full suit of armor. There's like the shoulder, the torso part. What does that consist of? Like something you put over.
So generally, it's full legs, right? It's full arms, greaves, which cover here.
When you say
right?
full legs, you put the armor on like pants.
No, you strap it on. You have what's called a gambesson underneath. It's a padded garment, so to
Okay.
speak, and then all your armor straps to that.
You've never played a video game in your life. Like I swear to God, with some of the like.
What
and
do you learn how to put on armor in the
Well,
video game?
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, you do.
The simple answer
right?
is
You
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Your
'Cause,
armor
like-
grows
'cause, like,
over time.
Yeah, like any game that I play, like whether it's Assassin's Creed, whether it's Witcher, any of that, like. Yeah, all of this is in there. So to see that you guys are doing that, I can see the appeal. It's like bridging the gap. And I would imagine Seth could go deep into this because you're a nerd.
Yeah, I'm a nerd.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
if I-
might
I could
want
do
to
it. Oh, totally.
get in on this because like
yeah,
with
they do
your-
no headshots. Then
No,
I'm
but
in.
with your
No, we do
ability,
headshots.
but
No,
with-
I
but you
don't
get a
wanna do
helmet
that.
on
I
though.
don't-
But with your
That's
ability
nasty.
to
That's
be a
worse.
nerd and you like You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Seth's your guy. I mean, like
You'd be
I'm not a
surprised.
nerd.
You'd be surprised.
you're totally a nerd, man.
About certain things, yes, I guess.
You'd be surprised at how many MMA guys and owners of MMA gyms and black belts and jits are reaching out to us
Yeah.
to want to, because they've been doing MMA for so long. They're like, I want to try something different.
And this has got a weird factor to it. Yeah, I like it, man.
Plus, it's full contact.
I
You
watched
take-
it on TV. I swear to God, I thought it was on ESPN one day, and I was watching
Yeah.
it, and these guys are whacking each other crazy.
So is the
It's loud too.
Once you put on the full, like the underneath padding, and I'm sure you got clothes underneath that, and then you strap on.
I go
all,
bare ass underneath that.
You put on all the
Have to.
armor. What does it weigh?
Anywhere
Like,
between 65 and 85 pounds.
God damn, like,
a lot.
heavy. So once you're in the armor, because that now I want to set up like the actual fight. So do you? How do you choose your weapon? Are there rules choosing your weapon? What are you allowed to use?
So there's 3 roles of fighters, 3 different categories of fighters. One is a center. That's basically our juggernaut.
Okay.
So ours right now, David, is 6'5", over 300 pounds. And his job in full armor is to suck up as many little people in the list. We call it a list. It's an old school version of an octagon, right? So
Okay.
it's 30 by 40 and 5 foot high are the fences. So that's his job as the center. Then we have flankers like me. I'm 6'1", 210 pounds. And our job, we're bigger guys, but we're still mobile enough. We flank the lines and beat the crap out of
And then you
people.
got guys like me, the page boys.
Well, no.
Who put their armor
You're
on
called-
them.
you're
and then
called a
I-
squire.
I cuddle with them later in the
No,
haystack.
no,
So
you're
you butt
the
fucked
you're the
Yeah,
prize.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
Then
the
I
prize
get-
at the
yeah.
end. With the
Then
bump
I-
we bit the
yeah,
butt
then I
fuck.
get butt fucked.
We're a co-ed team, right? So we have guys and girls on the team. And then the
You
smaller
put
individuals.
the coners on the
Yeah,
armor.
so
No coners.
Are the girls like, help me, help me? You know,
in their
like-
gowns, right? They're maiden
Yeah,
gowns.
and they have the pointy hat with
No.
the flowy thing off the top because
Anna's
there's no
training
way.
Aja and Anna, right? So Anna's on the team, and she's currently training to, one day have a bid in UFC out of American Combat Club. So she does jits and striking. But anybody below, say, 5'10", under 180 pounds, they're called a guard, and they're meant to just be really fast, right? Light, and it's all about situational awareness. So if I've got this big ass helm on, I can't see behind me.
Yeah.
If a guard gets behind me and puts their foot in the middle of my back, because everything is allowable with the exception of we don't hit in the back of the head, we don't hit at the spine, and we don't go anywhere near the knees. So if I get face planted by someone who's quicker behind me, I'm out. Our rules are simple.
Okay.
If you hit the ground, you're done. You're out of the fight. It's last man standing.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So it's
Stay on your feet.
So you can't grapple?
We can. I mean, we're not going to pull fucking guard.
Well,
we're
you
not
can't-
going to do that.
What
right?
I'm saying is you can't take somebody down, put like knee on belly, and bash their head in.
No, because once they're on the ground, you can't touch them anymore.
oh, got an MMA nerd fighter.
And
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You're in the full grapple, bro.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
but
Do it.
yeah, knee on belly. You already
Don't
have
jits
80
me, bro.
You've already got 80 pounds of armor on you. So
So it's basically you're trying to knock your opponent over onto the ground. What about if you go to your knee? Can you get up for your knee, or is
no,
it any to part?
if you take a knee because you've been taking so many hits to the head with a double-handed axe, you're out of the fight.
So okay, going back to weapons, you allow weapons. What are the rules of choosing your weapon?
Okay, so they got to be period specific, number one. But the most important thing is we want weapons with good kinetic power behind it. We don't have sharp blades, and we're not using any stabs, right? So
Yeah.
double-handed axes are really good for us. Swing the crap out of that. War maces, which is a double-handed mace.
God damn, how heavy is that?
They're pretty heavy.
Like,
They can weigh a little bit.
They're legitimate weapons.
Real
that are
steel.
not
Not
sharpened.
sharp.
Yeah,
Real
yeah.
steel weapons.
So-
and bastard swords, which is a double-handed falchion. But there's also the guys that want to grapple more. They use a punch shield or a buckler, and then they have a single-handed axe or a single-handed mace, and that lets them have 2 appendages free to say, get with someone who is close to them, grab them right on their tricep, grab an underhook, and then take them to the ground, hip chuck them, whatever.
It seems like if you had a mace, which is like a
Big club?
I'm not talking about the thing, the spiky ball at the end of a chain. Is that the
No,
mace?
no,
I thought you were
What is that
talking
thing?
about the rapper.
Yeah,
And then he went religious. He
what
went
the thing
really
that-
full religious, but
Reverend
then he
Mace.
came back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dirtier than
You're talking about
ever.
the thing that William Wallace killed one of the other.
Yeah.
it's not that.
Swung it,
Okay, it's not
smashed
that.
it.
No.
So it's just a big hammer.
A bit, yeah. Look at it as like a war hammer, but a mace it's got a long stick,
Okay.
And then it's got a big club on the end of it.
Looks like a broomstick with a pine cone on the top.
It seems
kinda.
like if some person, like you said, the person who owns this particular armor is how big again?
6'5".
6'5".
He's 6'5". If a 6'5" dude with a goddamn giant hammer used his full strength to hit me in the head, even if I had the
it's gonna
helmet
ring
on,
your bell, I think.
Dude, it would ring my bell like you think, because when there's not an insane amount. There's not like an old leather football helmet in there. It's like tiny padding and a strap to hold my heavy ass helmet on.
So his padding isn't adequate, right? So we're working on that. We do use concussion-proof padding inside our helms.
Okay.
And they're really tight. You'd be surprised though. When you get hit, you're gonna feel it. If somebody hits you with a sword, you're gonna hear it. You're not really gonna feel it.
Gotcha.
You're wearing this helm for a reason. If you get really whacked, you're gonna get your bell rung.
And do you know a lot of the history behind suits of armor and stuff?
Nope.
No.
I like that. Good answer.
Moving on.
Good answer. Nope. Good answer.
Because I was gonna ask.
Should have lied and said you were pregnant.
Go that route too.
Because
that's 2. Presto trip. Write that down. Triple pizza party.
I'm just wondering,
Never
like,
happened.
in actual war and stuff, like when
what is it good for?
when knights and people would fight in these suits of armor, I would assume that back then the whole strategy was get your tiniest stabbing sword into the joints. Yeah. You know, like his neck, like you're stabbing
like Needle from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you're trying
a tiny little sword that'll I want to get right in this joint.
And you're not incorrect, right? A lot of the injuries happen when people catch you at the junction of your armor.
Because that's the weakest point.
Right? Yeah, you see a lot of people, if they're taking an axe to the clavicle, you'll get a busted clavicle. I mean, but there's neck protection. It's full suits of armor.
If anybody wanted to get you, they just have to aim for your legs. Because everything else is
I forgot to put on my armor down there. It's like washing.
Well, you won't wear
Look
that.
at his toes, because he's going to wear flip-flops for sure.
Oh, but they're armored. They're armored flip-flops. They're made of metal.
So
hold less mud.
Now I would assume that as people get into these types of things, like you start getting better and better at it, and then you start getting more and more strategy to it. Yeah. Because like it's kind of like back in the day how MMA started. It was like, and you guys know, it was like they just put the this guy is good at boxing against this giant sumo wrestler.
Crazy versus Tank Abbott.
Yeah, right? and then
it's like we got a street fighter versus a guy who actually a master of his craft.
Yeah. So then as it worked itself out, people got fine-tuned more and more until the point.
Oh, pause for 1 second. Okay. Twitch, if you do have questions, just throw them in the chat. Samantha or myself will gather those so we can ask the guys.
And by the way, Seth, put that helmet on. See what could you? I want to see if you can imagine fighting.
Nobody's gonna hit you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really feel it.
I think Seth looks good with the helmet. Look at him.
Yeah.
Wait.
It might not smell
very good.
He
did a sniff test.
But could you imagine?
Oh, it's a leather thing.
Yeah.
Seth, you look good like that, dude.
Yeah, man, come on down.
I was made for this.
I think you kind of were. Yeah. Hold on. Let me put
Seth,
the camera on.
Does it seems like it seems scarier.
You look good, dude.
Like it's counterintuitive because when I put that thing on during the break, it seems scarier to me to fight with that thing on than to fight with it without it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so constricting and heavy.
He's a child. He's a child.
Keep it on.
So
that's cool. What do you think? Could you do that?
Yeah, I could do. Oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah,
It'd be fun. I want to be in samurai outfit though. Not.
And
you can.
You can as long as it's period specific.
But what happens is a lot of the other guys run around and we want to hit those guys that look like samurais because there's not that many that go out there to do that.
I want to be the nerd of the nerd that does that.
Subgenre.
Going back to my long question is like, has it gotten to the point where
is there ever a
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Has it gotten to the point where they've realized the technique and the strategy so much where it's not like you see in the movies where two people are fighting back and forth, shields like hitting each other, where it's just like if I can get around the back of this guy fast and just kick him over, I'll win. and then you start
running.
You start worrying about winning
hard though,
instead of like the the overall pageantry of like making it look cool.
Yeah, so our sport is it is a sport, right? There's over 400 fighters in the ACL in the United States. There's over 52 chapters. We have chapters also in Canada and France, in Europe, and Mexico now. So, we do tournaments. As a matter of fact, here in Orlando, we're hosting the Eastern Conference Championship in December.
No shit.
Yeah. Well, so we'll have.
I want to see that.
Yeah, you guys come out, right?
Yeah,
so
you guys got to come back because I want to see it at its highest level.
We'll have over 40 guys fighting.
Rad.
Yeah.
Now
I would go to that for sure, man.
And we're trying to get the Highland Games to come out so they can throw
Is
balls
there beer?
and flip
'Cause I
telephone.
want-
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I want beer.
So okay, how
It's period specific beer.
how
That's not
Mead.
No, we're not having any mead.
Mead, right? I like mead. I like mead.
Yeah, I like mead too.
I love
It'll
mead.
fuck you up.
Oh, that's great.
so how, like
Vikings blood.
if you don't have any experience fighting in armor, like let's say like the championships are coming up, and I just Seth like signs up to be in this, and now Seth's a good fighter. You know,
He's got technique, for sure.
He's been training for a long time. He's fit and whatever. If we just threw Seth in there with the armor, would he like actually beat a lot of people, but just because he's good, or does everybody in the league they have too much experience fighting in armor for Seth to ever beat them?
Well, I mean, Seth could beat a few of them, I'm sure, but the concept is understanding what it's like to wear 80 pounds of armor and make movements and fight at the same time. And a lot of people don't realize that when you've got the helm on, you're breathing right into it, right? So it's kind of like wearing a high altitude mask while you're out there.
Difficult.
So that's the most important thing, is getting used to the weight while you're making
I'm
body
breathing my
movement.
fish burps constantly.
Salmon burps.
Was it from salmon or fish oil?
But yeah, so
yeah,
there's chapters all over the country that have varying levels of success. You know,
Yeah,
we
somebody
train,
asked how many chapters are there worldwide that participate.
Well, we have 52 in the Armored Combat League, but there's multiple different. There's all kinds of leagues. They have, they've got a championship in Europe where it's 150 versus 150 full-on armies that go out and beat the crap out of each other.
Like,
I would
they
watch
just
that.
run at each other like
Yeah,
Braveheart
I would
style.
watch that.
I would like
It's
to watch
crazy.
that at the Amway.
But there's many
I would watch
different.
that.
There's
That's
many different
awesome.
leagues, but we are the largest league in the United States.
Wow.
Damn.
And if you think like every once in a while, like you hear a historian talk about like what it meant to actually fight hand-to-hand combat with swords and shit, like it's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
We
have romanticized it in movies and
And most people
television
would run.
and video games. Yeah, but we
Short
make it.
and run.
You make it look so easy, and there's no way to describe that level of confinement and claustrophobia you have when you're inside this tiny little box.
And it feels weird when you have that helmet on, even though you have it on, and you're staring across the list at some other big guy that has a helmet on and is swinging an axe.
What's
and
the
you're
most
like, "Holy
terrifying
crap."
to me is what you described as the guy that got behind me, and I don't know he's there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I feel a fucking axe to the back, or whatever.
Well, we
You
don't
said
do-
you got- not the
no
spine,
spine
but,
shots.
But he got around me, and next thing you know, he's kicking me or whatever.
But
and
the
I turn
armor
around
works.
and I'm getting right in the head.
The armor does work, though. It's not like you're feeling every single blow.
Is it scary the first time you guys strap it on? You get out there. I mean, you decided you want to do this, so you're the newbie. You get out there. Is it scary?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be kind of scary because of the lack of visibility.
Yeah. The first few times it's scary.
Yeah.
You're like, holy crap. And you really have to have situational awareness when you're in the list. You got to know, hey, there's 5 guys on the team. I might be engaging with this particular guy, but did my friend get his butt beat and now he's coming to jack me up?
So when it's 5-on-5, it's the team. It's whoever's left on the team is the winner. So it could be like 3, and then the 3 people are left, right?
Yeah, or it could end up being a duel where it's 1 on each team and the winner wins all.
Do you guys pull axes on the girls?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like,
Don't
like
hit us- don't hit us hard.
I was gonna say pull punches, but it didn't sound good.
No.
They won't.
I mean, there's separate female tournaments.
So you
as well.
whack them right in the tits. Can you dent their tit cones? Do they have tit cones?
They don't really have those.
No cones.
They don't have cones.
I asked the same
cones.
those
Yeah,
before.
yeah, horny.
So
They need tit cones.
So it's
like
cones.
She-Ra had tit cones. Every good female Valkyrie, they get the nice tit cones, But then my wife, she wouldn't fill it up. Like, what do you got in there for snacks?
hollow tit
Yeah, I
cones.
got some fucking beef
It
jerky
would
in
just
there.
they're just dent in because there's nothing there to stop.
No. She fills it with snacks. That's what I'm asking. I'm like, what do you got? You got golden Oreos. Give me that.
Is there someone considered like best in the world, or like the Michael Jordan of this sport?
His name
not
is
really.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
It's weird.
You could throw him in some armor. It'd be awesome.
Like I imagine what people think of like the Wall from Game of Thrones, like just some gigantic
Oh,
dude.
that guy?
that just
He's a strong man.
We have some of the biggest centers in all of our chapters. They're really big dudes. I mean, we're talking with a couple strong men that want to join the team. One guy's I think 345 pounds, 6'7".
How do you knock that guy down? It's impossible.
You
right?
kneel behind them and you
Kneel
have
behind
some
him.
motion.
Oh, you do the nerd.
You do the nerd push.
Strategy, man.
It would take a few people.
Yeah.
to go at him. And then you're just whacking his head until he's, I don't want to do this anymore. And
King, 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 king.
But it's also about gas, right? So stamina is the most important thing. And just about, flatulence works too.
It stinks in here. Echo.
Uh-oh, shit my armor.
But, the gym we train at, and we train these guys for stamina. We get in there and we do CrossFit circuits. We do powerlifting.
With the armor on?
No.
Oh, okay.
One day we will, but, this is a new team.
We're
just at it, a month now with 20 guys and girls. So
that's a lot.
So, what is the biggest concern when you're in the armor as far as getting hurt? Like, what's the most common injury you guys see from this particular sport?
I mean, common injury, you're going to get a lot of bruising, like massive bruising. And there's the possibility for concussion, sure. But, if you're not wearing adequate armor and you take an axe to the arm, you're going to break your arm.
So
safety for me as the chapter president, it's most important that everybody's in the right kit.
Do you guys test it? Like you have some sort of gauge? Like, oh, you're like this armor's cheap. Where'd you get it?
We use trusted armorers.
I got it off of Amazon. I got it from a place in the Middle East, Fono BB.
I went to Party City and picked out the next costume.
Actually, that's what this one's all about. Like, remember when he brought this one and he's like, he brought a gauntlet that was not quite up to scratch.
Yeah.
And you could totally tell the difference, and it was incredible.
And that one is up to scratch, correct?
Yeah. And I wouldn't allow anyone to get in the list if they didn't have adequate armor. And we do test it. So if someone wants to come on board and we put a helmet on them, smack them upside their head so they know what it feels like.
You guys should train nude, but use pool noodles.
It's like
I feel like it as a bonding experience.
It's like the weighted bat in
baseball. Yeah, we'll start nude with foam, with pool noodles, and those,
pool noodle to the nuts would sting.
Yeah, it would sting.
Goddamn, like the. It seems to me that this is like not a fun thing. Like
nothing's fun to you.
I know, but I understand training for MMA and stuff. But it's like it seems like you're complicating it and making it way harder.
I like the idea of collecting armor, making it look cool.
I don't know. I'd love to watch it.
Specific.
Yeah.
I like the idea of tinkering with it. If it got dented up, I got to repair it in some way. Like there's some
traditional. There's a traditional aspect to it. I guess.
Yeah, and I like the idea of there being if you wanted to be samurai armor, you got samurai armor. I mean, your bigger target, maybe a little more exotic. These guys want to whack you around your whatever that helmet that looks like a stormtrooper.
What are other styles?
Stormtrooper helmets gotta be. They stole that from samurais, right?
Yeah.
Looks like a fucking samurai helmet to me.
Okay. What are some other styles that people fight in, or is it only within that specific time frame for you guys?
It's only within that specific time frame. I mean, but you can have Italian armor or German armor, Russian. I mean, there's all kinds of different suits of armor.
That's pretty cool.
It's insane. And
which is the
cool
one in the haunted house that you always see? You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows.
Oh, I think that's Italian.
That's Italian.
It's probably 15th century, early Italian.
Absolutely.
Scooby-Doo.
It is.
Right.
Okay, Scooby-Doo armor.
Yeah. Do people fight in that?
The only reason I know that is because the last Assassin's Creed, you go to Italy and you're running around and all the armor looks like that.
My kit is an early 15th century Italian.
Oh, you got the Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
But it's degrading to call it the Scooby-Doo.
It's blackened. It's got the bronze Crusader cross on it. It's crazy. But the coolest draw for a lot of people is that they get to pick the aesthetic value, what they want to look like. Right? As long as it fits our safety regulations and it's period specific, they can do just.
So I can do an upside down cross on that instead of a regular cross.
Yeah, sure.
I might get hit.
Wow. I can do an atheist type style.
Longwood Lures in our Twitch chat room nailed it. He said Dan would not like this. One ding in his armor would drive him insane. Absolutely correct. I'd be the best looking fucking knight out there, but you guys will whack it one time. I'd be like, I'm out. You ding my armor. Got to go home repair this.
I yield.
Do the guys this out? Do they knock the dings out after to keep?
I mean, not really. Some people use stainless, right? And it's not really going to ding that much. Some people prefer to use mild steel. That gets dented like crap, right? It just depends on what you want. But yeah, if it's a bad enough
Put some
ding,
Neverdol on there
right,
and rub it
it's-
out.
Yeah, if it's bad enough, you've got to take it back to an armorer and they bang it out and repair it. Yeah, you'll lose rivets during battle and stuff.
Is there someone local that does that, like an armor?
There's a few.
Just take it to a motorcycle shop, right?
Well, I mean,
not really. But there's more people into this than you guys would think. I
Yeah.
mean, in less than 30 days, we have over 700 followers on Facebook.
Wow,
that's a
Yeah,
lot.
people are just kind of interested. They're like, really? This is
Yeah, it's
crazy.
cool. I'd watch it.
So, and you can check it out on Facebook.com, Orlando Black Knights. And when's the next competition that people can go and buy
December
tickets
14th. December 14th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where's it going to be?
It's going to be in Eustis. It's actually going to be.
Everything's in fucking
Yeah,
Eustis.
but so it's at this cool venue. It's called the Farmhouse on 44. So it's like Lake County's biggest barn
Seth's
wedding
house
venue.
is farmhouse inspired.
Farmhouse inspired. Probably the same decor going on.
Yeah, it's 15 acres. It's awesome. We're gonna have a bunch of people out there. It's gonna be super cool.
Seth, what would it take, money wise? I know what it takes you
He's
to
holding
read
his
the news.
hip bone, sadly. Leave him alone.
So if we got you,
I
if we
can't get hit in the head anymore, man.
no, we'll tell the other person to like it. We'll do like
Body shots only. Done.
Yeah, body
I'll do
shots
this.
only.
I don't need any money for that.
Come on now, Mitch is telling me he wants to just beat my ass with a bow staff and no armor. He wants me to be in full armor and he's gonna beat my ass
Mitch
with a bow
has
staff.
always been crazy.
Bow staff.
What was he gonna wear?
That's
What's he
called
gonna
the
wear?
Donatello.
He's gonna wear a banana hammock.
Yeah.
So because in a normal fight, Seth versus the 6'5" gentleman, this armor's like Seth would win because Seth's got the I don't know, this gentleman's training, but Seth's got probably more training. He'd win the fight.
Are you
But
talking
in
about a normal fight?
Yeah, like a
Oh, I see
normal
what you're saying.
MMA
I was
fight.
like,
But then this armor fight, I'm interested to see if Seth can stand up to this guy that's been doing
I'll
this.
be like your son and just running circles by myself around him, like he's going to
Use your speed.
I'll try
Speed.
as much as I can.
Yeah,
I
but-
got good stamina still too. So.
But how much speed are you going to have in a full set of armor? This says
I
Twitch.
do sprints with my 50-pound weight vest on all the time.
All right. Did you think?
Not that it's it's
That's
probably
why I
much
think-
different, I'm sure.
That's
but
why I
mean, at
actually
least
think
I
Seth
train.
would be really good at
I
this.
train like that all the time still. So.
You would just have to have a special helmet like Antonio Brown.
Like
right?
you know the sport more than
I do.
anybody. So what chances would you give Seth against the 6'5" gentleman, full armor, regular fight?
I mean, if you watch the show, right, there was an MMA guy that came out and he got his butt whooped. But see, that's the thing, right? So it's just like anything else. If you train for it specifically and you're used to it, like when we do cardio, a lot of us do cardio with 60-pound weight vests on.
Okay, yeah.
Right, just to get used to that weight. That's the biggest hindrance for a lot of people. Is you can fight, sure, and I can too without anything on, right? But if you're wearing 80 pounds of armor, it changes the game for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Completely.
Most people are in our Twitch chat room are saying that Seth would shit his armor up.
Well, that's a given. I mean,
Yeah.
that wasn't a question.
Well, you're wearing pants.
He's
so
the
it's-
Brown Knight.
the Brown Knight.
Yeah, I'm gonna start my own league, the Brown Knights.
Well, guys, thanks so much for coming in.
we appreciate it, y'all. That's super interesting.
Again, Orlando Black Knights. Check them out on Facebook, and then go. I want to check this out, and I would still want to set this up, and then start doing gambling on it. It's like,
oh, you're gonna gamble?
And Twitch, like I want to film this for Twitch.
But
like,
you gotta
awesome.
old school gamble with like coins that are period specific.
Yeah.
And you have to toss
15th
them,
century coin.
or like a leather satchel of coins, and you toss it out. You know, like and it lands on the table.
I maketh it rain.
Yeah. You throw that down there.
Do you ever have guys that go full on like how an actor?
Do they talk like?
Yeah. Like
and well, I've had a couple at
method.
the gym.
Yeah.
I've had a couple at the gym. I'm like, you got to tone that crap down.
Yeah.
I'm here to make you throw up and get in shape so you can fight. I'm not.
I made you.
I'm not here for your.
Seth.
I'm not here for your
Don't
nerd
care.
stuff.
Stand down.
And there's no dice allowed past the
No
front
dice.
door.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do when they're fighting, do they go into character and start talking?
We haven't seen that yet. 'cause we're like,
No.
It just makes you want to hit them, right?
yeah.
Bigger target.
Well,
thank you guys. That's really interesting.
yeah,
Appreciate you guys
Thanks for
coming
having
in and
us.
sharing with us.
So
Yeah,
we can come
anytime.
back and tell you more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
this thing going.
I'm serious.
I gotta tell you.
I want to put Seth in a full suit, and I want him to, no headshots, but I want to see a real fight.
I think he'd do great.
I'm
I'm not doing anything athletic for you until I get paid for my wrestling match that I did almost.
Oh, come on! I get it. Jesus.
I'm not letting that
Why
down.
don't you just pay him?
You got the publicity.
Because no, it wasn't the. Now that, oh, we're gonna do the graffiti on the side of your gym.
This is
6 months for that.
I told you what happened.
This is a joke to you, but to him it's serious, and I don't understand why you just don't pay him.
Well, because now, like, I told him the whole deal when we made the agreement is to come out, we'll book a gym, do
No,
the
that
thing.
wasn't. That was nowhere near any sort of agreement. For that. I got him wrestlers. I told him how to do it. I did all this stuff for him, and I wrestled the
What is
main
he? How much
event.
How much does he owe you?
I made you a star.
It's not that much. It's a principle. It's $100.
You need to pay him.
Whatever. It's $100.
I will lose a friend over $100. I don't give a shit.
Oh my
God.
I told you it was serious to him.
I saved my money.
Anyway, I know that's a lie.
We need to get out of here, buddy?
Yeah, I think we should.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. Plug some stuff, and then I'll tidy us up here and get us out of here.
We got a bunch of new merch coming on the site. The straw hats are on there now. We got the BDM dry fit shirts coming soon. We got the Apple Watch wristbands.
Yep, that's going to be a pre-order. Cabana hats are up, right?
Yep.
And there's some left. So if you didn't get one of those, you do have time to grab one.
The Tuffy's CBE meetup.
I know where your mind is. You're already floating in the pool with your sons.
August 24th. If you enjoy marijuana, attack Seth's gym. He's against you.
I have nothing against.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
He's certainly not the Green Knight.
I have nothing against marijuana. Put that out there.
Like a bunch of high guys are slowly running at you.
They're like zombies.
You're not gonna do well against Seth and his friends.
They're just barely fingering the glass,
And we got the BDM school drive on Sunday at 11 a.m. at Johnny's other side.
Yeah, go support it, whether it's financially or whether you want to drop off some school supplies.
So Seth, talk about your gym for a second. Your karate class.
Which one, the karate or the jungle?
Yeah,
Which one?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Well, you got jungleorlando.com. We're actually doing a bunch of back to school specials right now for all the kids classes that we got going on there, which is great. I don't do kids necessarily for my karate program.
Well, that's not what I heard.
Damn it.
Oh, God.
I mean, they're close to kids, but they're 18.
But no, I actually get emails asking for like 5-year-olds to like 12-year-olds. I start at 13 for the karate program and up for the karate program.
Gotcha.
So if you're interested in doing any sort of
What
karate,
about
and I got a couple BDMs since I posted that video of me doing the kata on there.
That was cool.
I got people like, oh, it reminded me of when I was younger doing this. I miss it, blah blah blah. So it's kind of cool to see.
Would you do private lessons for Tom's son Tommy?
I actually did a private lesson for a BDM the other day, actually, and I never do private lessons ever.
Do you want your son to do private lessons, and then that way, the next time that
seriously, I'll
bigger girl,
I will teach him. I got smacked by a bigger, thicker girl in elementary school.
I got my nose broken by a big black mama at a basketball game. In high school.
I just don't know.
Fell down the entire bleachers, bleeding profusely, and
You
carried.
shouldn't have asked her if she was pregnant.
No, I didn't ask her. I told her to please quiet down. I'm watching the sporting event, man.
But if you do want any information on the karate or the jungle, go to either karateoforlando.com or just follow me on Instagram at SilverbackSeth and shoot me a DM.
There you go.
And Samantha, plug your podcast.
SemanticsPodcast.com, patreon.com/semantics.
Who's on this week?
This week we have the Gilligans.
Oh,
Tommy
nice.
G and his
Love
wife
it.
Brandy.
He knows karate, right?
No.
Nope, that's jiu-jitsu,
Nope,
but
jiu-jitsu.
that's fine.
He knows. All right.
He doesn't.
You already do. He knows karate more than I do, right? We could all agree on that.
No.
Yeah.
He's got a better shot at it, that's for sure.
He knows. All right. Guys, we appreciate it. We will see you next week.